The only team I have not done a rebuild of this season is the Buffalo Bills. They're obviously a very talented team. Some would say the best team in the NFL right now. I see a lot of power rankings that put them at that #1 spot, and it's tough to flat out disagree. They're definitely one of the best teams in the league, no question about it, led by a great young core. And when you look at Josh Allen, it's tough not to recognize his development and call him a top QB in the league as well. So the Bills are on a fast track to very, very big things. Of course, as you can tell from the title, this is a 20-year rebuild. Haven't done the Bills all season, so I said, you know what? I'll treat you guys to 20 years of action, probably with some simulating here and there in the middle. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We'll see the career of Josh Allen. We'll see Stephon Diggs, Tre'Davious White, Von Miller now with the Buffalo Bills. He'll be involved in this one too. And hopefully we can win the Bills more than 4 Super Bowls. Because, of course, as you guys know, they went to 4 in a row in real life and lost all of them. I'm sure that's no surprise at this point. We'll try to change that and be successful this time around. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. I have a number of rebuilds on this channel, a number of 20-year rebuilds. I have big simulations. I have actually playing the game in series. I got a lot of stuff going on, NFL content. So if you're new here, would appreciate it. But, of course, if you don't like it, don't subscribe. No pressure, but if you like it, you think you might like more of these, hit that subscribe button. You know what will also be really cool is I'm sponsored by Underdog Sports, but I'm doing a lot more fantasy stuff and even probably some fantasy videos on the channel this year. I'm going to be doing drafts with you guys, probably on Twitter and Twitch. Those links are down below, but definitely download Underdog. It's linked down below, Underdog Fantasy, and use code BENGAL. Code BENGAL will get you a deposit match up to $100 when you use code BENGAL. So code BENGAL, Underdog Fantasy Sports. I'm doing drafts with you guys on Twitter and Twitch, so if you want to be a part of that, you got to download that, got to use code BENGAL. Link down below. Let's get into the 20 years. We're going to be in for a long ride. We'll talk about the offense first. I think my big focus, well, keep in mind, it is 20 years, so I don't really have any big focus long-term other than keeping the team good. But the cool part about these 20-year rebuilds is I think you can really approach it a little bit more realistically. And by that, I mean, there isn't any, like, selling your last first-round pick or the pick in the next year's draft that you won't ever be taking, because I usually do about 4 years. In this, I'm always going to have to be planning for the future. So there isn't any, okay, this is our window, let's ball out and win now, which some teams do in real life. Look at the Rams right now. They're not going to be super competitive probably in 2026 or 7, but over the next 3 years, yeah, they could win as many as 2 or 3 Super Bowls, like best case scenario, right? They won one, of course, in the 2021 season, but this is their window. They understand that, and they're not really set up great long-term, but who knows? You could, change things around. All it takes is really one good draft sometimes. Draft 3 or 4 plus starters like the Saints did in that Ryan Ramczyk draft where they got also Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara. But the offensive line does stand out as a unit we're going to have to fix. I do think Spencer Brown is going to be a really solid starter at right tackle. Liked him last year. I thought he was quite good. And I'll probably start him right away. Cody Ford, former first rounder, hasn't really developed very much. Hasn't really played a ton, but it's because he's not great. And then Roger Saffold needs to be replaced at this point. Need a better running back. Did draft James Cook, but that's a receiving back. That's going to be his role as a receiver out of the backfield. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary. It's like these guys are fine, but not spectacular. And I do like the receiving core. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis is quite young. Jamison Crowder's just a fine slot, who I'm probably going to look to get better. He's only 28, but of course in Madden 28, they're not going to be good anymore. On defense, linebacking core is interesting. I find it surprising that Terrell Edmonds is not, he's on the Steelers. Tremaine Edmonds, who actually, can you even see the helmet? Right there. Tremaine Edmonds, sign helmet, not by choice. I find it interesting that he and Matt Milano are the same overall, both 82, when I consider Matt Milano to be a much better player. And I know Bills fans are frustrated with Tremaine Edmonds. He's still really young. Like, he's only 23 or 24, and I know he's been in the league for a while because he was drafted as a legit teenager, but he could still end up being pretty good. Got to understand the growing pains. Still a great athlete. But the linebacking core, we're going to look to get better. D-line, same deal. I like Von Miller, but short window on that. Ed Oliver, I like. Got to do better than Daquan Jones, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epineza. At least in Madden, like, those guys are not going to develop quickly enough. And then at corner, I'm going to give Kyer Elam star dev. First round pick of the Bills this past year. I always see Jordan Poyer in free agency as well, and he's like an 82 overall. I wonder how much money the Bills actually have. I would probably like to move him, but we're in a window of competing now. Doesn't really make sense to move any of those guys. Like Micah Hyde doesn't make sense to move. Jordan Poyer doesn't make sense to move. It's like, this is the window. We got to hold on to these guys, and those guys are staying. I don't know how the Bills playbook usually does in simulation, so we're going to test it out. I'll see you at the midseason mark. So, Bills playbook doesn't seem to be going well. 1-5. Dolphins are 1-6. The Jets, however, are 5-1. I mean, do we baseball this and say we're sellers at the trade deadline? I mean, 1-5 is just vicious. I'm not even sure a playbook change is going to make this team turn it on and start winning games enough to really make some of these guys worth holding on to. Like, I like Micah Hyde a lot. I like Jordan Poyer. I would probably be comfortable trading Jordan Poyer. Also, I still find it funny that Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are the same age. It just feels like Micah Hyde's been around longer. But I guess he's probably been better for longer is what it is. Jordan Poyer, it's just he has star dev and he's 30. And I would rather have Micah Hyde. I don't need to necessarily make a choice. Like, I get that, but what's his contract looking like? 2 years left. It jumps up a lot next year. Josh Allen's contract gets pretty expensive. Not really a big surprise there. I'm trying to see where I can shed a little bit of salary if I were to package Jordan Poyer somewhere. I don't really know who it would be. Maybe Saffold, but I don't think anyone's going to want him. There's only, I think I've seen 2 teams so far with any interest in Jordan Poyer. It's the Giants and the Steelers. I'm probably not going to get enough value back to make this worthwhile. Roger Saffold, a 4th and a 7th are on the move. We get a 2nd round pick from Minnesota. Just not a part of my future. Ooh, there's a prospect named Nick Barnett. You guys might remember the Packer in the 2000s. We're going to load in a 2023 NFL draft class, though. So, goodbye. Ooh, no free agents even worth re-signing anyway, so I'll probably just simulate to the playoffs, which it doesn't seem like we're going to be a part of. Yeah, it didn't even come close to making the playoffs. 5-12. The defense was not that good. The offense was about average, exactly. But this team just couldn't string it together to win games. Josh Allen, it wasn't spectacular or anything. We had to have better production in Madden than that. Singletary was bad. Stephon Diggs was quite good, and Jamison Crowder put up very comparable numbers. Diggs found the end zone more and more yards per catch. And then defensively, Tremaine Edmonds had plenty of tackles, as did Matt Milano, 7 for loss for Edmonds. Von Miller, 17 tackles for loss, 14 from Ed Oliver with 8 sacks. And then 13 sacks from Von Miller, 11 from Greg Rousseau. We might have something here. If we can develop him as a pass rusher, he could end up being a really good player. Still quite young. Interceptions, Taron Johnson led the way with 3. Need more turnovers. Defense has to play better. Offense has to play better. We can't win 5 games with this Bills team. I mean, that's just horrible. Packers beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. Aaron Jones wins Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins league MVP, though. And then Zach Wilson and Micah Parsons are your rookies of the year. We don't really have a lot of money. Actually, it just jumped up from 7 to 25. Ryan Bates, I think, is a no. I don't think we should re-sign anybody. I'm not sure what I'm looking for in free agency, really. Rasul Douglas could be okay for 2 or 3 years. I'm fine offering him that contract. We need a kicker and a punter. But other than that, I'm not really sure how aggressive I'm going to be in free agency. Obviously, you have some of the rookies in here because the game just can't account for them. And so none of them have a development trait or a legit contract. You can't change contracts outside of franchise. So every franchise setup would take like 5 hours just before recording. So it just kind of is what it is till we get to Madden 23. Kyle Hamilton's here. Like, it sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, so interesting free agency. I ended up making a contract offer to DJ Reed instead of Rasul Douglas because he's 2 years younger. It's going to be better for development. We got Chris Barnes. We got Hunter Niswander. Just because I want a punter for the duration, or at least for 7 years in the rebuild. So I just offered a 7-year contract. It's not like he's going to get worse. Superstar dev now for Jordan Poyer and Matt Milano. And Barnes will play over Markel Lee at right outside linebacker. Also, what I just remembered is that OJ Howard's on this team as well. In Madden, you just don't need 2 tight ends. So OJ Howard probably going to get traded. And this is the trade I'm making. OJ Howard, a 5th this year, a 4th next year, for Nasir Adderley, and a 2nd this year from the Chargers. Very happy with that trade. That gives us a little bit more flexibility as to what happens with Jordan Poyer, who, yes, he did get superstar dev. He's also regressing, so we know he's not really a long-term answer. But Nasir Adderley, I believe, can be a starter at one of these spots. But we really do need to improve the offensive line. I forgot to start Spencer Brown. It's because even though he's listed at right tackle, the game just throws him over to backup left tackle instead of right tackle, where he would start otherwise. So maybe I don't need to draft a right tackle, but the offensive line just looks so bad. I'm probably going to just go best player available, but look on the offensive line at least. D-line's a need. I think the secondary's a need. We do have good depth at corner now, so I'm not super concerned about that. But if there's a great corner, I'm not going to pass it up because we have Taron Johnson and DJ Reed. Safety for sure. Probably going to ignore linebacker. We pick at number 6 overall. It's just way too high. It's way too high. Trading up for Will Anderson Jr. could be cool. But getting Paris Johnson, I think, is probably best case scenario. Or Peter Skoronski. Even though I've definitely drafted him a few times, it just is a move that makes sense for me. Here goes Keely Ringo to the Broncos. Can never have enough corners. Paris Johnson's available. That's who I said I was going to take. I'm just going to take him. Not hesitate. Welcome to Buffalo. Here goes Will Levis to the Broncos. Already trying to replace Russell Wilson. Tyler Van Dyke is here. We obviously don't need a corner or quarterback. Excuse me, quarterback. I like the way Matthew Jones looks. I'm going to double dip on offensive guards. Only normal dev is kind of frustrating. The whole reason I'm drafting an offensive lineman is to try and get hidden dev. Just because that's tougher to find, but not going to happen. We have back-to-back picks here. Number 12 and 13 in the second round. I don't think I'm going to take either. I think I'm going to try and package those for a high pick next year. Basically, the rest of my draft, 2 2s and a 3, gets me a first-round pick from the Giants. Projected to be a top 10 pick next year. We'll see if that ends up happening, but that's a draft. And I think that's a really good move. Give the Giants a second-round pick. And, yeah, we traded a lot. Don't get me wrong. But we got a first-rounder next year. Paris Johnson's a 76. Matthew Jones is a 71. He could develop, but Matthew Jones from Ohio State will not be a starter, whereas Paris Johnson will be. Offensive line definitely looks a lot better with Paris Johnson in there. And then defensively, I'm kind of just down to sit tight for right now. Except Elam will be CB2. I would say this is a much better season so far. 5-1, currently leading the AFC East. Broncos are 0-7. Tough start. And we do have some free agents that we talked about. A lot of big ones, to be honest. At least for this team. Like, I just traded for Nasir Adderley. Want to bring him back. Mitch Morse, Ed Oliver, Devin Singletary, Tremaine Edmonds, Dawson Knox. I want to bring all of those guys back. Jordan Poyer at 31 becomes a bit of a question mark. So I didn't really talk about some of the role players on this team. I know the Bills signed Tim Settle. He could end up being a really solid player for them. But whether or not we bring him back, I don't know. Cody Ford wants more money. Not dealing with Jordan Phillips. I'd rather have Tim Settle. Nasir Adderley signed. Mitch Morse signed. Ed Oliver wants more money. Devin Singletary and Tremaine Edmonds both want more money. And Dawson Knox said yes. So the weaknesses of this class are at safety. Kind of disappointing there. I think... where would I like the National Scout to focus on? I mean, it really is kind of random. I don't think it matters. Because you just don't know about these guys. I'm going to choose left end. At week 11, we are 6-3, which is fine. It really isn't too bad. I think we're still going to make the playoffs. And now I have a chance to re-sign some of these guys. I just wanted more money. I took the bonus down, but they didn't really seem to care. They just wanted salary, so I'll bump that up a little bit. And he wants to play for a new team. This is really the last chance to negotiate. That's dumb. Ed Oliver wants more money. Of course he does. Cody Ford is back, though. He's still young enough where he can end up developing. I think the same thing about Tim Settle. It's a little bit more money than I would want, but he'll be fine. Jordan Poyer wants, like, everything, dude. It's going to be very tough to keep him for another season and Tremaine Edmonds, because one of those guys is going to have to get franchise tagged. and the other one is just not going to be on the team probably. And we would make the playoffs, 12-5. Classic Chiefs playbook success. Josh Allen goes for over 5,000, 36 touchdowns to 12 picks. We had no running game, but it really didn't matter. I think in Madden, you got to have like that 90+ overall threshold for them to be even remotely effective. That's not always true, but they got to be closer to 90. Singletary's just not quite there yet, and this is not a great running playbook. Receiving, Stephon Diggs was awesome, as was Dawson Knox, and Gabriel Davis had 10 touchdowns, so gotta love that. Defensively, wow. 15 tackles for loss for Von Miller and Ed Oliver, but quarterback sacks, 24.5 for Von Miller. Vonnie Bevashon Miller. We'll never know how to say his middle name. 11.5 for Greg Rousseau. Interceptions 4 for Tre'Davious White. Bills-Jags have seen this matchup before, and this time, the Jags beat the Bills 35-28. And we're headed to the offseason. Cool. It's a Titans-Lions Super Bowl. Titans beat them 30-24. Patrick Mahomes wins league MVP. And your rookies of the year are CJ Stroud and Jalen Carter. Okay, so offseason, this is where the tough decisions will have to be made. Tremaine Edmonds, I want. Ed Oliver didn't resign. Okay. Well, I guess I have to up that a little bit. He's going to test free agency as well. Well, his franchise tag's going to be like 22 mil, 19. Okay. Tremaine Edmonds, I want. I'm not going to be able to get all these guys. Ed Oliver declining is a wrinkle I was not expecting, and I definitely do not want. I will give Jordan Poyer a 1-year deal. It's going to test free agency. It's whatever. I'm going to... Who do I absolutely not want to lose? It's got to be Tremaine Edmonds for the price. Like, Poyer is the cheapest for 1 year. 11. We have 25. No, we can't keep all of them. My best bet is probably just letting them all test free agency. No. I almost, that would have been stupid. I'm gonna re-sign Tremaine Edmonds, or franchise tag Tremaine Edmonds. That's 15.7, and then I'll legit pay Ed Oliver. Denzel Ward here, of course. Montez Sweat would be nice. Deron Payne's here, but I think, rather keep Ed Oliver. And Ed Oliver rejects. I'm so sick of this in free agency, man. Oh, I should get who I want every time. Yes, you're right. That's so annoying. Where's he going? Cardinals? I mean, I wish I could see how my offer relates. I mean, it really is so annoying. I just really am so annoyed at losing Ed Oliver. NFL draft time. We pick at number 9 overall. I'm not afraid to trade up if the right player is available. I don't really know anything about the class. I haven't really looked, but even if I had, I don't think it would matter too much. Oh, you look very bad. It's so frustrating. I know, like, the counter would be, well, you know his archetype's a power rusher. You don't need to know power moves. You know it's going to be pretty good. It's like, maybe, but maybe not. When his finesse moves is a D, the power moves would only have to be a C in relation to make him like a power rush archetype. So we don't really know about that. But I have a guy 80% scouted. Don't really know if he's any good. Same deal with you at 80 or 70%. I don't really like the board. I don't know who I want to take. I can't really get excited about anybody. Nice when you have a top corner, 80% scouted, do not know man or zone coverage. That's fun. I think I'm going to end up with Chris Sanchez because I have to replace Ed Oliver. He seems pretty good. He's someone I'm going to be fairly happy to draft. So we'll probably add Chris Sanchez. And I'd like to trade back down from 9, I think. Here's what we're actually going to do. The Colts are offering me 2 first-round picks to move back from 9 to 27. I do get a first-round pick next year to do that. And then what I'll do is trade up from 24. Trading number 24 and a 3rd next year for number 16 from Arizona. And I'll probably use that pick to take the D tackle and then reevaluate the board at our next spot. He's off the board at 16. I mean, Al Belzer also looks pretty good. I don't think he looks as good. I don't know. You know what? He's got some good player notes or traits. His ratings look pretty good. He's a pretty good athlete. We'll take Al Belzer. Obviously, it was going to be normal development because that's what this game is. Trading a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fifth-round pick for a first and a third next year from the Lions. I hope they're pretty bad, although they were just in the Super Bowl, so I'm making a bit of a gamble here. And I just don't want this pick. I'm actually super frustrated with the way this offseason has gone. Losing Ed Oliver, getting no value back for Jordan Poyer, missing out on the guy in the draft. It's like anything that could have gone wrong in this offseason has gone wrong. Ooh, Clyde Toomer looks pretty good. Some A's in there. I also like the look of the other center, Thaddeus Tuck. I would like both of them. I'm thinking across the interior of my offensive line, I could have both. I'll take Clyde Toomer first. He looks very good, 90 strength with hidden dev. Like that a lot. But the question becomes, can I move up for the other center? And I think Noah Watson could be quite good. I just don't know anything about him, really. So, I mean, I know he has a run block finesse. So that's pretty good. I mean, do I just try and get all the centers? There goes Noah Watson, so nope. Okay, I'm going to try a multi-part trade with the Saints here. I'm trading what I believe to be our first-round pick in 2024, which is projected to be a top 10 pick. It really shouldn't be. We should be very, very good next year. I'm trading a fifth this year, a sixth this year. I'm getting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That could be the Jordan Poyer replacement at strong safety. First-round pick in 2024 as well, so it's a pick swap. But I also think I'm going to give them Taron Johnson. Trading Taron Johnson a fourth and a fifth round pick next year for a third this year and a second next year from the Saints. And the two-part trade has been completed. And I'm going to use this pick to take the center I looked at, Thaddeus Tuck. And welcome to Buffalo. Only normal development, but does have 90 strength. We'll have to see what the ratings look like. Draft recap. So the center's a 75 overall. We actually did quite well here, at least that one is. This first center is a 72, but does have the better dev trait. Going to be star, surely. And then Al Belzer is a 73 with normal dev. Not great. Let's see what we missed out on. So Chris Sanchez is an 80. He went at number 13. I would have been happy taking him at number 9. Yeah, 80 is the best player in the draft. But it was pretty hard to know that, I guess. He also wasn't projected to go until the 20s. So, that's just a little bit frustrating, really. Hey, Brandon Knight, remember when he got posterized by DeAndre Jordan? Back when I watched the NBA? Noah Watson, the center I missed, was only a 71, by the way, so not mad about that. But yeah, missing out on the 80 overall D-tackle. Unlucky. Let's see what his dev trait is. Let's get ready to cry. If it's star, I mean, I'm still going to be annoyed because we missed out on him. But yeah, okay, star. That's a little bit more acceptable. It's not like we would have drafted a superstar or superstar X Factor, but it's still a pretty big miss. So we have really good depth on the offensive line now. Probably going to move Toomer over to right guard. We have a good backup center. He's only 21 as well. The guy that's going to stick at center, Thaddeus Tuck. So we can develop these guys for a while, and then when it's time for Mitch Morse to go, we got Tuck just who can step right in and be a starter. So, happy about that. He'll develop a bit. Toomer, we'll figure something out. And what could end up happening is Paris Johnson moving to right tackle over Spencer Brown, who, again, is quite good. But Paris Johnson, I think, is going to play offensive tackle for Ohio State this year. And Spencer Brown in Madden just is not a great rating. Pass blocking's pretty low. So we might look to make a move. Move Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to strong safety. Still going to keep Nasir Adderley as a backup. We have 3 corners I'm pretty happy with. But I'm not stoked about the defense. Like, some parts I'm happy with. Corner, I think, is fine. Micah Hyde's just regressing. The linebackers need to come along a little bit. And Matt Milano, I think, is starting to regress. Yeah, he is. So, I mean, Matt Milano will literally never be better than what he is right now. And we need help on the D-line. Mid-season mark, we are undefeated. 7-0. Pretty good, I would say. James Cook has an upgrade. We have some upgrades. Nothing crazy, though. A lot of big-time free agents here. I franchise tagged Tremaine Edmonds. I basically picked him over Ed Oliver. I better keep him. He wants more money. They always want more salary. How about a thank you? That's so many millions of dollars. I'll sign. No loyalty, dude. Stephon Diggs wants more money. Shock. Von Miller's back for 2 years, though. Okay, things are going well. Micah Hyde, Tremaine Edmonds, Stephon Diggs back. Gabriel Davis wants a bit more money. Give him that. And he is back as well. Tyler Bass, I'll wait for free agency. AJ Epineza. Like, I don't know if he's ever going to be a starter for us, but he'll be an okay backup. He's back as well. But we're looking to upgrade edge. I would say that's the biggest position I'm looking for in this offseason, including the draft. So we're 8-1 right now. We're focusing on this season. It's going really, really well. Not undefeated anymore, unfortunately. But we're doing pretty well. When you look at where we can save money, I mean, it's all going to Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs now. But I thought he was worth the extension. And Tre'Davious White's getting paid a lot as well. But getting Matt Milano off the books, I think, would be huge for us. I'm probably looking to trade him. And you know what? Probably Mitch Morse as well. We have somebody who can come in and play for a lot cheaper. And that's what it's going to come down to. And we are into the playoffs. First round bye as well. 14-3. Very successful season. We'll go over the stats quickly. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, this is a 20-year rebuild. We got to speed things up a little bit. Otherwise, this video is going to be like 10 hours long. But Josh Allen's second in the NFL in passing yards with nearly 5,242 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. Rushing, Singletary was a bit better. Had 13 TDs, I guess. Gabriel Davis, though, will be a superstar in this offense. Nearly 1,900 yards on 120 catches in the slot. 18 touchdowns. Dawson Knox was great. Stephon Diggs was not so great, but he wasn't in the slot, so he wasn't getting the majority of targets. I wanted Gabriel Davis to get superstar dev. Von Miller, 20 tackles for loss, 18 for AJ Epineza, 10 for Greg Rousseau, 18 sacks for Von Miller, 15 for Rousseau. If he can get up to star dev, I'd be pretty happy with him. I'm still looking to replace that position overall because we know Von Miller is going to retire, or he's going to regress a lot within the next 2 seasons. We got to get some younger guys in there for sure. Chargers in the divisional, not going to spend too much time on this playoff run unless we make it to the Super Bowl. And we're not going to even win a playoff game. Chargers win 35-24, and we're headed to the offseason with negative cap space. Now, that's going to change for sure, but I'm going to trade Matt Milano probably and Mitch Morse. Right now we have $12 million. Bengals crushed the Packers in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen won MVP. He'll get some nice XP there. Joe Burrow wins Super Bowl MVP. Gabriel Davis does have superstar dev now. Tyler Bass, yeah, we just got to let a lot of these guys walk. Not really a lot of guys worth bringing back anyway. Only 13 mil to spend in free agency, which we might just be better off keeping. Michael Pierce is an option, a D tackle for sure. Don't love the class. Michael Pierce kind of stands out. Yeah, I guess we'll give him a contract. And I think we have to bite the bullet and trade Matt Milano, which is unfortunate, but he's just getting paid way too much to be an 80 overall. And trade Mitch Morse as well. Just don't need him. Like, look at the difference here between Thaddeus Tuck and Mitch Morse. Just doesn't make any sense. Okay, trading Matt Milano in a third for Jamin Davis and a second. Moving up and getting a better, younger player. Sounds good to me. Now, he's not going to have superstar dev like Matt Milano has. But that's okay. Actually, I don't want to advance a week just yet. I got to trade Mitch Morse. So Toomer, of course, we knew he was going to have star dev. I mean, Spencer Brown is developing a little bit. I think we're just going to keep him and then re-sign one of these guys at a cheap price point. Tuck's going to move into the starting role. Toomer, I guess, would just be a solid backup. Chris Barnes up to superstar dev, by the way. Greg Rousseau up to star dev. Okay, he's going to be real solid. We still need a partner for him. Von Miller is not going to be around forever. Didn't even talk about Boogie Basham. I don't really go over a lot of the backups on this team, or we'll say rotational players, but that's all right. Since I'm not doing a lot in free agency, I'm just going to simulate to the draft pretty much. I'll stop and do the focus player, and I'll trade Mitch Morse during the draft where I have a better idea of what I want to do. Don't necessarily have to move him now because we don't need the money. Did get Michael Pierce, though. It's a big addition. So, you know, Raheem Anderson is a round 1 talent. I could still look at a corner, especially one inside the top 10. I wish you could see how athletic these guys are on the side. Kind of annoying that you can't. Nick Dunbar, we don't know. Rick Fisher, we don't know. He's a run stop. Oh, he's 6'3", 320. That's a D tackle. But maybe I want Dunbar to 100%. I'll do one more edge rusher, Roman Gordon, maybe. Just because he fits the 4-3, it looks like. And then it's a little bit of guesswork otherwise. We'll do that. So we pick at number 12. I'm going to pause the draft in case we have to move up. I'm going to really take a good look at some of these prospects and then make a decision about where we want to go, because some of these guys could be make or break for the franchise. Like Raheem Anderson is a first-round talent, but he's not top 5. It would say top 5 if he's a top 5 player in the draft. But he does look really good. 4.6 speed with a finesse moves, play rec, pursuit, tackle for the position. The only thing he can't really do is defend the run at an elite level, but that's okay. That's a player in my mind that's worth moving into the top 5 for, even though we know he's not a top 5 talent in the class. Like, this guy also cannot defend the run, but round 1 to 2 talent with a finesse moves. I like a finesse moves. This is a round 2 to 3 player. Rick Fisher looks really good, except we know he's a run-stopping defensive end, but he's very good in all those areas. But how would he compare at D tackle where I would actually play him? Roman Gordon's a top 5 talent. This is what I wanted to see. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Not quite the athlete that the other guy at the top is, but looks like better overall. So that's kind of what I'm interested in right now. And we wouldn't have to move up as much. We still might have to move up, but just to play it safe, I might move into the top 10. Trading number 23, number 48, and a 4 next year for number 8. I thought about trading 12 because it'd be a way shorter way to move up, but I'm going to keep 12 and just kind of see what's available at that spot. I just really did not want this player to get drafted, and that is Roman Gordon. I'm not going to screw around like I did the first time. We're just going to take him, and he's got normal dev, of course, because of course he does. That's just what it is. And we know he's going to be top 5 in the draft, though, so there's that. There goes Rick Fisher, who I probably would have taken at 12. Just how this is going. Do I take Marco Wallace just because he might be the best player here? That's the trouble. I think what I'm going to do is make the smart choice, which is trading the pick. And I've traded the picks a lot here, but if the player you want is not on the board, the best move is to trade. I'm trading number 21 for Xavier McKinney. Have I made another trade with the Giants? It feels like I have. I think it was just for a pick, though. But I still have 12. Don't really have any plans with this pick still. This is just not even going to be realistic. It just is what it is. I'm trading a first-round pick number 12, a second-round pick, a third-round pick next year, for a first-round pick next year, and Jordan Brooks from the Seahawks. That's my Matt Milano replacement. I know what you're thinking. Bengal, did you forget about getting Jamin Davis? Maybe. Nah, it'll be good to have a good backup. Jordan Brooks was just kind of too good to not get. I kind of wanted to get an impact defensive tackle. Just didn't really find the trade that made sense. It's a pretty good trade for me. Micah Hyde, Mitch Morse to the Giants. Just every trade with the Giants in this video, I guess. Dexter Lawrence going to play defensive tackle. He's young enough and he's good enough to where I think it makes a lot of sense for us. Because, okay, 86 overall, 84 with morale at left end. At D tackle, he probably goes up overall. He does, even though he's -3 with morale. He's an 88 overall defensive tackle. So now the defensive line's not really looking so bad. Michael Pierce is kind of like a rental, but Sexy Dexy, Big Dexter Lawrence, is going to be there for a few years at least. We got Rousseau. We're going to have the edge rusher I drafted. The linebackers look really good. I'm comfortable with where the backups are as well. And then offensively, I think we're looking pretty good too. Just about developing the offensive line. Like Paris Johnson, again, could end up playing right tackle, but I'm still working with Spencer Brown. Kind of feels like a lost cause. Because what does he really end up getting up to? Like an 82? Maybe. Just not that great. But I'm going to keep doing it. Other than being really, really slow, Steve Sears looks okay, but he is really, really slow, though. I'm going to test it. 86 speed for a deep threat. It's not good. But he does have hidden dev. He does seem to have A's all over the place. You know who this is? This is Jarvis Landry. Alabama versus LSU, but still. Okay, I think we did pretty well here. Roman Gordon does have normal dev, but he is a 78 right away, so that's pretty good. Block shedding isn't even too bad either. And then Steve Sears is slow, but he's a 75 overall. Does everything pretty well except run fast. So we'll see how effective he can be. I think that's pretty good value. Now, I do want to see what we missed out on. Oh, we got the best player in the draft. Who was the player I was going to draft, though? Rick Fisher. He's a 74, does have hidden. 80 speed, 86 strength, 81 block shed, 76 power moves. That feels really good to me. I think he would have been a really, really solid pick. That, of course, I would have talked up, and then it's, oh, you're like saying that because you drafted him. No, but I really do think he's going to be good. And he is superstar dev, too. That's rough. But we probably don't get Dexter Lawrence if I drafted him, which maybe that would be for the best. I don't know. Von Miller is really expensive to have. I love the contract Jordan Brooks is on, though. Seahawks did a good job with that one. Ooh, and Dexter Lawrence is a rental. Am I going to have money to re-sign anybody? Also worth noting, the CPU drafted a 61 overall star dev center. He actually doesn't look terrible. Run block and pass block are in decent spots. Chris Barnes is expensive now, but over the course of his contract, it's front-loaded, so it's going to get cheaper and cheaper, so we just kind of have to tough it out with that contract, but it's not even that bad. I like the team. Von Miller, I think, is really putting us in a tough spot. He's really expensive for a 35-year-old, but he's also still quite good. 10-7, snuck into the playoffs, despite, like, with the same record. I know different schedules, probably. Or, well, definitely. But both 10-7. The Texans are an 80 overall to our 90 overall. Doesn't matter. So the offense actually took a step back this year. Maybe because we had a rookie in the slot. I should just put Stephon Diggs back in there. It's like, earn your contract. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Devin Singletary started to perform a little bit better. And yes, I'm looking at yards per carry for that. Steve Sears as a rookie was in the slot. Does have star dev. And is a little bit faster. 87 speed now. But it really should be Stephon Diggs in the slot if I want to maximize that ability. Tremaine Edmonds leads the team in tackles. 28 tackles for loss for Greg Rousseau. 19 for Von Miller, who also had 19 sacks. Although those are different stats there, different categories. 7.5 for Michael Pierce. 7 for Rousseau. Hoping that number would be a bit higher. And it's another first-round exit. The Texans beat us 24-3, not even close. We can't even get to 4 Super Bowls to lose them. We can't even win a playoff game. Niners, Chiefs, Super Bowl. Niners come out on top. Trey Lance wins Super Bowl MVP, but Patrick Mahomes won League MVP. I see Offensive Rookie of the Year is our very own Steve Sears. I don't care what they say. Sears clearly not going out of business. Okay, so how much money do we actually have here? 21 mil in cap room overall. Oh, it's not going to happen. Okay, so Spencer Brown's going to walk. Boogie Basham's going to walk. Jamin Davis could walk. Rousseau has to come back. Especially now that he is a superstar dev. Absolutely has to come back. I'm liking a 6-year deal, probably. That's big. Deion Dawkins for 4. Okay, it's a little bit more expensive than I would like, but that's definitely fine. And then it just comes down to, do I want to bring back Dexter Lawrence, who is probably going to decline, and I'll have to franchise tag him, which we could do. We're not going to have money anyway. Or Jamin Davis, who right now I believe is a backup that we don't really need. Jamin Davis said no. So I'm going to go into crippling debt and franchise tag Dexter Lawrence. So we pick at number 21. I thought we had multiple picks. Are they all just beyond 21? 21 and 22. Not afraid to move up per usual if the right player is available. However, the right player is not going to be Marquez Eubanks. I know that. And Matthew Claxton, who I use my XP on or focus, whatever it is, ends up being a top 5 talent. I am interested. Now, here's the problem. He's supposed to go at 23. He's going to go before that probably now. So I'm going to try and trade up probably with both of those first rounders. Trading number 22 and number 54, as well as a 7th round pick to move up to number 10. Now, I'm conflicted right now because I think I also want to move up to number 11. But in order to do that, with our salary cap situation, we're negative. So the only way I can trade picks right now is by not including a player. That's the only way I can make a trade. So I want number 11. I want to go back to back here. And okay, so I can add a second round pick next year. I don't have to move my first rounder next year. And I can add in probably a 7th to get this done. Not quite. I'll add a current 5th. I've been doing a lot of trading in this video. That one gets accepted. So we'll have back-to-back picks. I think we're going to be pretty happy with the result here. I'm taking 2 defensive linemen. Really looking to beef up the defensive line. Just feel like we haven't really had the talent there over the course of this thing. So the first guy I'm going to take is Dante Bird. He's a defensive tackle for me. That's just what he's going to be. B power moves, A tackle, A block shed. He's going to be a fine D tackle, I think. Does have hidden dev. Strength is a bit low, but the speed is quite high. So we're going to be happy with that because he is a defensive tackle for me. That's what he is. He's going to change a little bit, maybe go up in overall. Potentially. Would like his strength to be a bit higher, but that's fine. And then we will back that up with top 5 talent. Matthew Claxton out of Ohio State, who has A power moves, A tackle. He is a true edge rusher. Pretty fast as well. And he also has hidden dev, 84 speed, 84 strength. We don't know about his pass rush ability from a number standpoint, but power moves is quite high. And play rec's quite high, tackle's quite high. And that's the end of the draft for me. So Dante Bird's is 74. But with a good dev trait, we might be really, really happy with that 74. Especially once he moves to defensive tackle. We could see a bump up to a 75. Probably not much more than that is 75. And then Matthew Claxton, 77 is really, really good. 84 speed, 80 power, moves, block shed's not quite high. And he could eventually replace Von Miller. I know we just drafted a defensive end last year. But the thing with that is he had normal dev. He was good. We can rotate guys anyway. I constantly talk about the rotation because that is a thing that happens, and it's pretty important to have depth at some positions, I find. So we have a lot of talent on the defensive line now. Tim Settle, Belzer, who we drafted in year 1. We have too many defensive tackles. I'll give you that. No, that's a fair point. You are right about that. If you're thinking, hey, you have 6 defensive tackles, if you include AJ Epineza, who might as well be, you are right. That is probably too many. But Dexter Lawrence might not be re-signed. Just might be too expensive. He's playing under the franchise tag this year. Michael Pierce is probably not going to be here. So where does that leave us? We'll have Bird and Lawrence maybe, or Belzer and Settle. So, you know what? We don't have too many defensive tackles. We maybe have the right amount. And Claxton maybe could move over to D-tackle too. 280 pounds. You know, Aaron Donald range. Although Aaron Donald is built a bit thicker, but, you know, yeah, it's fine. I built an interesting team. Oh, yeah, we got to move some things around. Johnson's going to go play right tackle, probably. Although I am going to move Clyde Toomer over to right tackle because I want to pay Parrish Johnson as a guard instead of a tackle. So I'm making a long-term play there. And we'll simulate to the playoffs. Actually, let me change my scouts here first. Playoff time just snuck in at 10-7. Looks like Von Miller's like, hey, I'm retiring. And then I'm like, hey, about time. Thank you. Please, you're crippling the team. Is that what this conversation is? Yeah, it is. Cool. Did I saw Josh Allen for a second? I'm like, no, Josh Allen's not retiring. Josh Allen had a pretty good year. I would say this is very solid in real life. In game, it's okay. Rushing, Devin Singletary's back to being where he has been, which is whatever. Steve Sears is still in the slot. That's right. I need to not have that. But he is up to 88 speed. So he's developing. Stephon Diggs, I'm paying for essentially nothing. I'm paying him so much to be the 3rd option on the team. I mean, he had the 4th fewest catches on the team. Or I guess tied 3rd with Gabe Davis. Jordan Brooks, 125 tackles, 5 for loss. Von Miller, 21 tackles for loss. Rousseau had 20, and he also had 19 sacks. Von Miller was 16, 6 for Tremaine Edmonds, 5.5 for Dexter Lawrence. Interceptions, we had a few. Will we finally win a playoff game? Can we actually beat the Jacksonville Jaguars? 22-21, we scrape by. Okay, Steelers in the divisional. They're actually a pretty high overall as well. Hoping we can take them out, though. Advance to our first conference championship of the video here in 2025. And we do, 42-28. I feel like usually the rebuilds go a little bit better than this, but we're finally to the conference championship. Maybe it's this morale booster of, you know, everyone getting, hey, it's Von Miller's last hurrah. And they get morale, they go up in overall, they play a little bit better. And we've made it to the Super Bowl, finally. And it's Bills Cowboys. I think that was a Super Bowl, right? 1992 season. The Bills lost 52-17. Not great. Ooh, Greg Rousseau is up to Superstar X Factor. I just saw. That's pretty nice. We'll give him Unstoppable Force. Extra credit I usually stick with. And I like Edge Threat, but you can only have that if you're 85 Speed Rusher. I don't know if there is one for 85 Power Rusher. I wish I did know. Let's do Defensive Rally. Super Bowl time. See what we can do. Fairly close game so far. It's 14-10 Dallas. 17-14 now in favor of Buffalo into the second half. 20-14. We're extending the lead. And again, 28-14. Dallas trying to push through. And they might actually tie it here. It's 28-28. And Steve Sears has had back-to-back catches. I would guess both of those might be for first downs. We have 50 seconds and half the field to go. A yard a minute. And we should be able to win a Super Bowl. And we don't even need to quite do that. That's a good throw. Stephon Diggs, sideline, toe drag, first down. Josh Allen, threes all over the place. 333 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And all we really need is to get into field goal range. However, I really... Am I getting tutorials on how to run an RPO? This would be so helpful. No, but all we really need is a few yards. Oh, I did not... Okay. Okay, that's a mistake. I read the instructions. I still did it wrong. All right, please don't cover James Cook. It's going to work well. Nope, it actually is not. 3rd and 12. Again, all we really need is a few yards here. Don't have to get crazy. Dump it off to the running back. There's James Cook. We're going to call a timeout. It's a 54-yarder right now. Oh, it's 4th and 6. Well, I guess that's what's happening. All right, can I land a kick while iced? Oh, we have the thing. We have the meter. The wind is against us. Are we not playing inside? Tell me I hit it. Kick is up. Doesn't have the distance. Yes! We go on top with under 10 seconds to play. Clint Smith. What happened to our other kicker? I don't know. But Clint Smith is now a Super Bowl hero. Yeah, I guess we let Tyler Bass walk. This would be an all-time throw if we lose the Super Bowl here. We're trying to force this throw out quickly. Get to him. Off his back foot is Dak. Ball is up and incomplete. And the Buffalo Bills get sweet, sweet revenge in a Super Bowl thriller. Nothing better than seeing the Cowboys lose. I mean, I would take the Giants winning, but might be a little while away from that, as have been for a while now. But yeah, Bills win the Super Bowl. Finally, the Buffalo Bills will bring home the Lombardi to Buffalo, and we'll try to win a few more of those. Najee Harris won MVP, by the way. Aaron Donald wins Defensive Player of the Year with the Falcons. Interesting. Okay, Trey White is a free agent. Kyer Elam, Paris Johnson. Michael Pierce is down to a 79. Oh, we actually have a lot of money, too. This really shouldn't be that bad, because Johnson's going to be pretty inexpensive overall. He would be more expensive at left tackle. Not that this is cheap, but he would be more expensive at left tackle. So let's give him a huge contract. Paris Johnson returns, and he's going to move right to tackle. Kyer Elam returns long-term. I'm just handing out 7-year deals to guys I know that are going to be on the team in 7 years. Tre'Davious White, I would give a 3-year contract to. It's expensive, but he's still really, really good. Not interested. Well, you're going to get tagged, so tough stuff. Tough stuff. Dexter Lawrence, very comfortable offering him a 3-year deal. Extend the money on that a little bit as well. And then we will... I mean, James Cook definitely played a role for us. Big-time receiving back. He's also pretty cheap. Give him a 5-year deal. Matthew Jones is pretty cheap for a backup. We'll bring him back. And then I think I'm just going to franchise tag Trey White. It is 20 mil, but I would rather pay 20 mil than lose him. That's why it's always so funny to me when people complain about overpaying a player. Like, unless it's really crippling your team financially and it's stopping you from bringing in other talent, you got to pay for their production and what they're going to bring to the table. Like, would you rather have the extra 10 mil when it's not even your money, keep in mind? Or would you rather have that player on the field? If they're better, you'd rather have the player, I guarantee you. NFL draft time, we pick at the very back end of the first round, but as per usual, not afraid to trade up if the right situation presents itself, and that doesn't exist in Madden. So I mean trading up for a player that I like. You're horrible, huh? Ooh, Jarrell Donaldson. I like this player. If that running back is available at 20, I will move up. Otherwise, we don't need to. Trading a 1 this year, a 3 this year, and a 3 next year, that seems like a lot to move up 12 spots for a running back, but it's what I've decided to do. I never draft running backs in the first round. Ooh, I didn't even see this dude. I don't really know enough about him. I know more about the other running back. And yeah, I mean, I said I was going to move up for him. I am. Both Alabama backs, by the way. A ball carrier vision, super, super quick, elite change of direction, A ball carrier vision, A juke. I think he's going to be really, really good. 97 speed. That's pretty fast. 94 agility, 93 change of direction, 90 acceleration. I don't think we're going to be upset about this at all. Those athletic ratings are going to matter more at running back. Change of direction, agility is elite. Speed is top tier for a running back. You do not see 97 speed. That's like Javid Best territory, who most of you are not going to remember, but it's like a real track star at running back. Like CJ2K would have been kind of a better one, I guess, for just like true speed and talent. Not to say Javid Best was really talented. Most of you guys, unfortunately, will not remember him because he didn't play in the NFL for long enough. Concussions killed his career. But, oh my God. Yeah, I made the right decision. I made the right decision. 83 overall running back. I think that's got to be tied. We're very, very close to the highest overall player I've drafted Madden 22. This dude is a freak. Break tackle's not very high, but carrying is quite high. He's got good traits, too. Aggressive possession and run after catch. He's got 77 catching. I guess it's +5. But he's got really, really good juke. Really good agility. I don't even see where that is. Am I blind? Top right. Okay. Trucking, stiff arm, break tackle, not high. Spin move really isn't that high either. And ball carrier vision is kind of whatever. But keep in mind he's a rookie. 83 overall is so high. That's clearly going to be a superstar for us. And now I'm a little bit disappointed we extended James Cook. We don't need him anymore. He's already higher than James Cook, who's 27. Now, this dude isn't young, by the way. He's 23. It's an older rookie. Not super old, but an older rookie. And I'm definitely not going to trade him. James Cook, though, like, we can't release him. We can't trade him. I don't know what we can do. I mean, we don't even need Devin Singletary, really, with this new dude. So this is how the team looks. Stanley's actually... Nah, no. There's no, actually. Forget for anything. Don't worry about it. Defensively, this is how we're setting it up. Claxton's going to play base right end, rush D tackle. Gordon's going to be rush right end, or maybe rush left end with Rousseau as rush right end. It doesn't matter. Either one of them will be a starting rush end. Bird is playing a little bit. We're developing him nicely, so I'm fine. He's not really a pass rusher, that's okay. Specialist-wise, setting it up like this. Brooks and Barnes as the sub linebackers. Tremaine Edmonds exists, and we'll simulate to the end of the season. 13-4, yet playing in the wild card. That's some BS, if you ask me. However, Josh Allen had 40 touchdown passes to go along with 4,800 yards. Only 9 interceptions, very good year. Devin Singletary still got the bulk of the carries, but not for long. It will be Jarrell Donaldson season soon. Only star dev. That's a little bit frustrating. But, yeah, he's really, really good. So, happy about that. Only 3.4 yards per carry. That's not good. You want to have over 3.4 yards. And it's Steve Sears again I put in the slot. Why do I keep forgetting to change that? He's got 95 deep route running. Can we develop him a little bit more? Stephon Diggs. I mean, he's only going to be a 99 for so long. I need to put him in the slot to get him the most targets. But Steve Sears, I mean, congrats on all the success, dude. You've earned it. Greg Rousseau, 17 tackles for loss, also had 14.5 sacks. We didn't really get a ton of pressure. Like, these are very pedestrian numbers, but we got a lot of interceptions. Probably the most interceptions I've seen in a rebuild in a long time. I mean, that's just 9 from the top 2 guys, and normally it might be 9 for the whole team. All right, let's try to beat the Bengals. We're 95 overall. Usually takes a very long time to get up to this good of an overall as a team. 28-20. That's a good wild card, but are we going to have as much success in the divisional? No. Dude, the Texans are kryptonite. The same way Mac Jones can't throw in a light breeze, we just can't beat the Texans in the playoffs. It just can't happen. And the Texans and the Falcons made it to the Super Bowl. Falcons came out on top, 21-19. And corner Dimitri Gentry, who ran like a 4.6, if I recall, wins Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes with the league MVP. And Jarrell Donaldson actually won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, the big problem for me is that he was bad. So how did that happen? And maybe not even that he was bad. He just didn't even play that much. Okay, so yeah, Tre'Davious White's here. Thaddeus Tuck, Clyde Toomer, this draft class here. Al Belzer can walk. I'm okay with that. Ethan Thompson, no. Tony Coolidge, how many kickers do we have? Tre'Davious White going to try and test out free agency again, but Thaddeus Tuck and Clyde Toomer both re-sign long-term. I think both on, I mean, Thaddeus Tuck for sure was 7 years. Toomer, I don't know if he's going to last that long. I'm going to have to franchise tag Tre'Davious White. No other way around it, really. I still want to keep him. He doesn't want to play, and I don't have enough money to give him the contract he probably deserves. So once again, we have to operate in the negative because I'm franchise tagging guys without really the money to do so. So all we can really do is go to the draft. But I mean, I'll stop and do the focus players. I think I still have a first-round pick. It's just going to be a little bit earlier than we want, like 24 or something like that. It's a good draft class from what I can tell, at least from a few players. Ronald Hazelwood, I like a lot. Safety out of Virginia Tech. And there's also a corner out of the ACC as well. Deontay Morton, that also looks pretty good. I think I would prefer the safety overall, just because this guy's a man-to-man corner with B-man. Don't know the zone coverage. Press is good. This is definitely a good player. We would have to move up. I've been doing a lot of trading up in this video, but in order to get the players you want, that's kind of what you have to do sometimes. And I know what you're thinking. Safety's not exactly the biggest need right now. That's true. But we could move him to corner. Corner is a need. Or we could move Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back to corner. That could also happen. So I want to move up for that safety. And it's probably going to be with this third pick just to be safe. It's going to cost so much to move up, though. It's going to be at least these 2 firsts. And probably a lot more. Oh, nope. That just is accepted. Okay, cool. Like, Deontay Morton definitely looks good. Who is the better overall player? Which I'm going to focus on. I think it is Ronald Hazelwood. I'm going to take him. Does have hidden dev, 95 speed. I'm hoping he is a stud. He looks like he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. But time will tell. I traded up a bunch to get him. He better be good. This dude, Devon Perryman, very fast at middle linebacker. I'm at least a little bit interested. Let's take him. Normal dev, but is fast. That's good. There's another linebacker, too. I ended up choosing Perryman instead. But I guess I'll see post-draft. I don't remember his name, so it doesn't matter. Okay, back-to-back 83 overalls in the draft. I don't know. Definitely never done that before. 95 speed, 84 zone coverage, 83 hit power. Although I want to say I drafted an 82 or 83 overall safety in the Steelers 20-year rebuild. So maybe draft classes get better as you get deeper into it. I don't think that makes any sense, but it just seems to be the case here. So what do I do with Ronald Hazelwood's a question. Not a man coverage guy. I was hoping his man coverage would be okay. I mean, it's okay for safety. It's not great overall. Also, Devon Perryman, 73 overall, not horrible. Here was Leon Hartwell was the guy I was considering, and we definitely made the right move. Chris Barnes is up to Superstar X Factor. He really has not developed very well. Surprise. He's already regressing too? That's not good. So Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's going to play corner, but also, I mean, slot corner for sure. And then Hazelwood's going to start at strong safety. Just too good not to start, I think is what that comes down to. Rousseau, Lawrence, Claxton, Gordon across the defensive line. I think that looks good. Tremaine Edmonds is, what, 29 now? Holy cow. It's crazy that he's that old, but I know we're many seasons deep. Yeah, I guess he'll stick at sub linebacker. He's very good. We'll have Sears not in the slot. I can have James Cook. I mean, we'll rotate 3 running backs. Fine. Cook is their third down back for now. It'll be Donaldson probably next season. Devin Singletary can be the power back despite not being a power back. And then Donaldson can start at running back. 12-5 back in the playoffs. The Texans, the bane of our existence in the playoffs, have Jalen Carter, who's up to a 99 overall. Check out the stats. I keep seeing DJ Uiagalelei putting up numbers, but look at Josh Allen. This could be an MVP season. Well over 5,000 yards, 47 touchdowns to only 12 interceptions. Jarrell Donaldson is the rightful starter at this point. I mean, this is a great season. He's developing pretty nicely as well. 4.7 per carry, 6 touchdowns, 980 yards. Just was limited on a ton of touches, but you know, we had a number of different running backs getting touches, so that's okay. Stephon Diggs finally in the slot, put up very good numbers. 17 TDs. Dawson Knox, great season. Gabriel Davis as wide receiver 2, very good numbers. And Steve Sears as the third option, I thought was also very good as well. So I'm very, very happy with the way everything played out stat-wise. And Steve Sears is up to 90 speed, superstar dev as well. Blocking doesn't matter. Jordan Brooks, 107 tackles, led the way. Greg Rousseau, 16 for loss. 14.5 sacks, 10.5 for Roman Gordon, 6.5 for Bird. And Matthew Claxton, like, I don't really know what to do with him. He's got 92 power moves. Block shedding's not great. He's a rush D tackle, but he's not really putting up crazy sack numbers. Jordan Brooks, 5 picks, too. And we'll see if we can beat the Texans in the playoffs. Finally. They beat us, like, every time. Finally a win. 31-15. And the Bengals are seeing us in the divisional. How many Donaldsons do we have? Alfonso, Jarrell, and the Bengals take us out. Still have not made it back to the Super Bowl, unfortunately. And our team was a 95 overall. It's down to a 92 now. I don't know why that would be. Now even a 91. The Bengals beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl. The Falcons are a juggernaut, apparently. They're in the Super Bowl like every year. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. But I imagine things could get pretty expensive here. We have 70 mil. Josh Allen, Tre'Davious White, Steve Sears, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Roman Gordon, Cody Ford, you can see your Adderley. A lot of these guys really didn't play a ton. Young Wei Koo's on the team now. How much does Josh Allen want? Oh, so much. So much money. Well, I'm giving him a 7-year contract. He's a 99 overall quarterback. No reason to let him walk. Except for the fact that we can't pay anybody else. That's a reason, I guess. Steve Sears returns as well. Thought that was pretty important. But we will not be able to bring back both Tre'Davious White and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or anybody else. Well, I mean, I guess we could bring back a few of these guys. Roman Gordon, maybe I'll do, and he's back. That's good depth. But who do I want between Trey White and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? It's probably Tre'Davious White. I actually can't even afford to offer him. We're going to need to clear up some space, and then I'm going to franchise tag and go into crippling debt yet again. Stephon Diggs' final year. Jordan Brooks, but that contract's fine. Deion Dawkins is down to an 80. I mean, even Chris Barnes isn't super worth having anymore. I don't know how he didn't develop at all. That's a big question mark I have. Devin Singletary, I'm going to trade. Can I trade him right now? I can't trade him. He's going to get traded. I'm going to have to just straight up cut Deion Dawkins. I know that seems rough, but you know, I got to free up the cap space. We don't really need him. I mean, I need a left tackle, obviously, but not him. Cody Ford, we're in the re-signing process, not going to do it. AJ Epineza, I can't cut, really. At least I have money now to offer Tre'Davious White so that I can franchise tag him. Again, we're going into the negative. I knew we were going to go into the negative. Not shocked by that whatsoever. But in order to keep the team together enough, certain sacrifices had to be made. And I'm doing what I can. This corner ran 4.24. I know I've been trading up all over the place. I'm going to have to. Just going to have to. NFL draft time. Oh, I don't pick until the back end of the second round. I just don't care. I'm having fun, dude. I'm moving up. Where can I save money and not get real worse? You know what the answer actually is? The answer is actually Stefon Diggs. But I don't really want to do that. Because it's Stefon Diggs. I mean, he's great, but he is 34 now. Still very talented. And I can't even trade Chris Barnes because I don't have the money. I think that's a problem in Madden is you can't even trade a guy to free up space. Like, you can't go from -10 to -5 mil. You have to either clear all of it or you can't clear any of it. I have to trade Stefon Diggs. I don't want to, but clearly I want to a little bit because I'm going to be doing it. He's 34. He's still great, but we've seen production from some of our other players at the position like Gabe Davis, like, what's his name? Steve Sears. I just don't really need Stefon Diggs as much. I'm getting choked up even thinking about it, but I have to make the best move for the organization, and this is going to be that move. Trading Stefon Diggs, Devin Singletary, and a 5th for the #1 overall pick. It seems like a lot because it is. That's a lot to move, but it's focusing on the future. We haven't seen a ton of success with Stefon Diggs. He has been the like sometimes second or third best receiver on the team in terms of production. And as much as I would like to keep him, we're not going to have Tre'Davious White long term. I see a true CB1 available. Ran 4.24. Second. Okay, I've looked at a bunch of corners. I can't find the guy who ran faster at the combine. However, he ran 4.24 at his pro day, was the fastest. This guy is going to be unreal. Elite acceleration, great agility, elite change of direction, great jumping, elite speed. Strength is good. Man coverage A, zone coverage A. Press is good. A hit power. Stephen Landry is going to be unbelievable. He's worth the #1 overall pick to me. He has 97 speed, 96 change of direction, great agility, great acceleration, jumping, hidden dev, probably will be star. That seems to be the trend, but that is a new CB1 type guy. It was worth trading up to get him, in my opinion. Now I have to decide, is there a middle linebacker worth moving up for me? Kyle Drake is okay. Maybe worth trading up for. Is he going to be better than the linebacker I have? Probably not. Darren Abraham's going to be the wild card here. We don't know his tackling at 95% scouted. I don't think I can talk myself into trading up for any of those guys. I would like to, but I need to have some of these picks. I can't just keep trading them. Trading a 2nd and a 7th for a 2nd next year from the Bears. I want to stockpile picks a little bit more. I feel like the past few years we've kind of been in a weird spot where we don't really have a ton of picks, and I don't really want to run into that problem. I don't love any player on the board, which means it's probably the best idea to move down. So I'll try to trade a 3 and a 4 for a 2nd as well. Trading a 3 this year and next year and a 4th this year for a 2nd next year from the Chargers, who of course had the #1 overall pick this year. So there's a chance that 2nd round pick ends up being very, very high. And then in the 6th round, I believe I'm going to take a kicker. A, throw accuracy short for a kicker. Cool. Would be nice to know anything about his kick accuracy. Is there something about kick power? How is kick power not an attribute? There are 2 parishes that played in the SEC and played kicker. Kick accuracy is an F. I'm going to take the top guy, Jeffrey White out of Rice. Hopefully he's good at 88 kick power. I don't know what would tell us that, but I guess that's okay. Stephen Landry's an 84. What is happening in the draft? 84 man, 80 zone when he's not being impacted by morale. I guess he didn't like going #1 overall to a playoff team. Yeah, it would suck, dude. It is Buffalo, though. I feel you on that. 97 speed is incredible. 84 overall. I mean, the past 3 drafts, we've taken an 83 overall, an 83 overall, and an 84 overall. There's another 80-plus dude, a running back, 81 overall, Richard Cochran. But other than that, it's not even that close. Stephen Landry, compared to the 3rd highest player in the draft, count them, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, and you're still not even there. Stephen Landry is, again, I mean, maybe the best player I've ever drafted in one of my rebuilds. Now, I've seen higher. I've seen an 87 overall running back. I think he was taken by the Falcons, or that was in the Falcons rebuild. I don't remember, but I definitely remember that dude. It was one of those storylines that happens in the draft where they get just a super juice stat. Like, I think the running back had 99 juke move, which you just never see. Oh, yeah, I wanted to trade one of those picks for an offensive lineman because we had to, unfortunately, cut Deion Dawkins. But that was important. We had to free up space. Johnson could play left tackle, and we have Eric Sims here. The offensive line is really not bad. How much money do we have? I don't think Deion Dawkins will be in free agency. I mean, Harrison Butker's here. That's a huge upgrade at kicker. We could barely afford that. Yeah, we don't really need that. We'll just sign Harrison Butker. I think that's a really, really good move for the team. Big-time kicker. Maybe that's the difference between a Super Bowl and not a Super Bowl. Although it definitely isn't. 15-2! What a season. Love to see that. This has got to be a first-round bye. Surely, right? I think so. We have Josh Allen leading the league in touchdown passes. 47. Only 7 interceptions. Threw for, we'll call that 4,800 yards. We can round up 1. Jarrell Donaldson goes for 1,100 yards. 12 touchdowns. Very solid season. He's getting pretty good, like that. Receiving, Michael Jackson. Ah, okay. I could have sworn he died, but I guess not. He said, only thing better than touching the end zone is... Okay, well, we don't have to go there. Dawson Knox, 16 touchdowns, great season. Went over the century mark in catches, over 1,000 yards. Steve Sears doing what he does. Gabriel Davis. Weird not seeing Stephon Diggs here, but he was like basically on the edge of retirement anyway. Tackles for loss, 16 for Greg Rousseau. Also had 21 sacks, which led the team. Amazing. 16 sacks for Roman Gordon. 10 for Matthew Claxton. Finally getting legitimate pressure on the QB. Love to see that. Jordan Brooks with 5 picks. This was a good trade we made for him. He's been pretty solid. All right, Bills-Jets. Come on, Bills. Let's see it. Let's see a win. Here we go. 40-34. And once again, we see the Bengals in the playoffs. We've seen a lot of different AFC teams, but I think the few that have stuck out as being there constantly, the Bengals, the Texans, the... One more. What am I missing? Bengals, Texans... I don't know. We haven't seen the Chiefs, really. We haven't really seen the Browns. I'm surely forgetting about somebody. The Jaguars, I think, is the other team we've seen quite a bit. And we're out of the playoffs again. 27-21 at the hands of the Bengals. Getting an early start on the offseason. Not too early, but earlier than we'd like. Packers, Jordan Love is Super Bowl MVP, by the way. Najee Harris wins MVP, but the Packers beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Myles Garrett is your Defensive Player of the Year. Najee Harris just crushing it with Pittsburgh. Stephen Landry's depth trait is show me better than Star. All right, Star. Upgrade his zone since CPU's not going to touch that by default. Jordan Brooks, Tre'Davious White, Xavier McKinney, all going to be free agents. Dexter Lawrence, Matthew Claxton, Chris Barnes. I mean, a lot of different players. I don't think anyone's going to be particularly expensive. Chris Barnes I can let walk. Should I have traded him? Maybe. Xavier McKinney on a 3-year deal I think is fine. Not interested in signing. All right. Jordan Brooks I want back. I was thinking 3 years. Not 21 mil though. Dude, he's not an outside linebacker the way he wants to get paid. He's not an edge rusher. Tre'Davious White somehow still sticking around. Kind of amazing he hasn't retired yet. I'll give him a 2-year contract. He wants to play for a new team. These drama queens, dude. It's unbelievable. The only guy that re-signed was Matthew Claxton. Dante Bird is back as well. The guys I draft want to come back. You know, because I treat them right. Eric Sims is back as well. He's fine. 76 overall, 26 years old. That's a starter. Okay, so Jordan Brooks at middle linebacker is a little bit more affordable, but he's going to decline this probably. But he'll be cheaper to sign within free agency. Could just tag him. Matthew Jones, 2-year deal. Okay, that's good depth in the offensive line. Might end up starting. I'm going to franchise tag Xavier McKinney probably. It's worth having him at 12 mil, I think. And then I'll try to sign Jordan Brooks and Tre'Davious White in free agency. Dexter Lawrence, I don't know. Probably not. Chris Barnes, no. The rest, obviously not. There's some interesting players in free agency. And some are fairly young, too. Like Derek Cleary, superstar X-Factor, 26-year-old receiver. I mean, that's going to be somebody I have to go after. Terrell Rogers, superstar dev defensive tackle, who is not only younger than Dexter Lawrence considerably, he's also, I think, a higher overall right now. Okay, big free agency I'm hoping for. We got all 3 guys I wanted. Big time. Cleary is going to be really good. Now, the problem is I'm paying these guys a lot. Jordan Brooks, of course, is back. I'm paying these guys a lot. So that's going to add up. It's tough to retain top talent. That is definitely a real thing you're going to deal with when you're in a franchise, especially in real life, obviously, because anytime somebody plays well, they want an extension or they want a new contract, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But we do have a lot of talent. We're going to be very good this next season. Do have a draft pick as well. It's going to change his number. 21 is a great number for a running back or any position, really. 21 is my favorite number, for those who didn't know. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. It's not really noteworthy. But offensive line looks pretty good. Receiving core is obviously fantastic. Running back's good. Quarterback's exceptional. And then defensively, we are not amazing. Jordan Brooks is going to go back to outside linebacker. Nah, you know what? He's going to stick. I'm going to move Tremaine Edmonds outside. And we're just a linebacker shy. We could move one over. But what I'll likely do is at least consider drafting one. And then we'll make a decision based off that. But the defensive line now looks great. With Gordon and Claxton, it kind of is like the perfect combo, where Claxton is a good base defensive end, especially now that I'm upgrading block shedding. And he can be a rush D tackle over Bird. Roman Gordon, more of a true edge. 91 finesse moves. Block shedding's pretty good for him, too. But I'm really comfortable with where we are. I could always move Claxton over to defensive tackle, but I think we're fine. Corners are great. We don't really even need Tre'Davious White because we have Landry now. So it's really only a linebacker that we need. And, I mean, I'm super happy with where the team is. Yeah, I'd like Tre'Davious White back. I just don't know where we're going to find the money to make that happen. I'll cut AJ Epineza. Just don't need him. We're not going to be able to afford Tre'Davious White, which I think is okay. Like, it's just kind of what it is at this point, right? It's like he's not a part of the future. But what I could do is, I mean, offer Cam Dantzler a 1 year, and he would probably end up accepting this. Yeah, 1 year is fine. I don't even know if we can afford this. Oh, we can by a lot. Okay. So Cam Dantzler can be a good CB3. We don't really need Tre'Davious White. The guy we drafted at #1 overall, a corner at #1 overall, he can step into a starting role, and we'll be perfect. Back into the first round, Bears are picking at #1 overall in the 2029 NFL Draft. We're getting to about the point where I'm going to let the CPU take over for a year or two. But what do we need? I talked about a linebacker, and I mean, that's pretty much it. Artez Judge, that's a Hall of Fame name, and he's got A pursuit, A tackle. Are you fast? Very. I gotta have Artez Judge. Have to. Okay, in a move just like the Vikings and Lions made in this past draft, I am trading from 28 to 11, giving them a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick in order to do so. Not exactly. The Lions had the 32nd pick, and they moved up to the Vikings at 12. But I wanted this number 11 pick. I really like the linebacker Artez Judge, so I wasn't going to take any chances. He's available at this spot. Notre Dame linebacker. There have been some good ones, at least some good prospects, like JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, has played well in the NFL. Jalen Smith was a great prospect before getting injured in the bowl game at Notre Dame, if I recall. I think it was a bowl game. Nerve damage, horrible stuff to the knee, but was so good prior to that. And there are some other good linebackers too, but those ones are the most recent that I can come up with that played off ball. Artez Judge, 90 speed, 6'4", 244. I just drafted Tremaine Edmonds. 90 speed, 88 excel. He should be a beast. He should be good enough to start right away. A pursuit, A tackle. Yeah, coverage is bad. Hope he can rush the QB a little bit, to play outside linebacker, as we have a pick at the top of the second round. Hopefully there's good value. This center seems okay, but I think I would... it's an issue of money, really. Can we trade for a good interior offensive lineman, or do I have to draft one? Probably just have to draft one. I would say that Philip Spears looks like the best one I've seen. Still have some question marks, but hidden dev, 87 strength. Love to see it. And if that center is available at the back end of the second round, I'll take him. He's not great, I don't think, but I still will take him. Nope, not available anymore. So I could just trade down, could take a shot on like a strong offensive tackle. Deep pass block. Deep pass block is not what you want. Let's take Gabriel Urban. 90 strength tackle. All right. Artez Judge is a 74. I thought he'd be a little bit higher. Philip Spears, actually 74 overall as well. Urban is horrible. Artez Judge only 74, so I guess that breaks our streak of drafting only players in the low to mid 80s. But he's definitely good. I guess, where is he really lacking? I mean, power and finesse is pretty good too. I'm going to move him outside linebacker. Block shedding's low. Block shedding is low, and coverage pretty bad. And there are actually 280 overall players in this class. Trevor Meeks at corner looks quite good, and then Carl Posey at strong safety is definitely fast and can hit. So I'm probably not going to start Spears this year, but it's good to kind of stash him away and end up playing him. And then defensively, I mean, I guess Judge can start at left outside linebacker. Is a scheme fit, and he looks like an outside linebacker. So you know what? That'll be fine. Perryman can just stay at backup inside linebacker. He's a little bit better right now, like no question. But I think he's a better fit on the inside, and Judge is a better fit on the outside. Defensive line looks great. Specialist, we'll have Cleary in the slot. That's totally fine. Claxton, Rogers, Gordon. Yeah, we're good. Don't really want Tremaine Edmonds, but yeah, I'm comfortable with the way we're setting things up. Let's go ahead and simulate to the playoffs and hope we're doing pretty well. I thought we missed the playoffs for a second, but it was a first-round bye in 2029. 14-3. We've been making the playoffs routinely. We just have not been doing much more than that. Josh Allen, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns to 11 picks. Great season. Jarrell Donaldson still doing pretty well. Even Josh Allen got involved running the ball, but not even as well as he does in real life. Pretty good production from the receivers. Well spread out. When you have 4 total receivers, including the tight end with over 900 yards and all of them floating around 10 touchdowns, it's very good. Very good ball distribution. Jordan Brooks, 115 tackles, 2 for loss. But Greg Rousseau with 15 led the way. 14 for Matt Claxton, 13 for Terrell Rogers. New addition to the team. Rousseau with 15. Terrell Rogers, very good overall. Would like his power moves to be higher, make him more of a rusher. But in terms of defending the run, it seems like he's very, very good. Claxton with 8 sacks, 7.5 for Roman Gordon. And they're still kind of splitting time. And then Stephen Landry leads the way with 4 interceptions. Aaron Groves had a few. He is not very good, but seems like he's playing probably more than he should be. Would love for Stephen Landry to go to superstar, but it's very tough for those corners to go up a dev trait. They really have to get lucky with a lot of picks. Just doesn't happen in simulation very often. But we'll go into the divisional. Nice to get that first round bye. It's been kind of a rarity, despite making the playoffs and having such a good record so often. Isaiah Foskey, there's a Notre Dame linebacker, but he's an edge. 97 overall for him. And we had a number 7 offense, number 2 defense. Those are really, really good numbers. Obviously, you'd like to see us win here. Only 1 Super Bowl victory, only 1 Super Bowl appearance, and I think only 1 AFC Championship appearance as well. And we lost 38-0. What's happened? Why? I mean, we're just getting crushed. I don't know what it is. Time for another offseason. And the Ravens, it seems like, are just unstoppable. 34-3 over the Packers in the Super Bowl. They might have one of the best differentials, point differentials in playoff history. You have a huge, huge victory where they shut us out and then beat the Packers in the Super Bowl by 31. And Malik Willis is their quarterback. They go from Lamar Jackson, one incredibly mobile quarterback, to another in Malik Willis. Malik Willis is not as fast and has a bigger arm than Lamar, to be fair, but still very mobile, fits the offense. I like that. And I'm very much considering moving to the Ravens defense, at least. I mean, they're shutting teams out pretty much. Wow, they allowed 3 points to the Packers, who made the Super Bowl. Najee Harris wins like his 8th MVP. Surely he'll go down as a Hall of Famer. But, I mean, what can you say about this Ravens team? They just are crushing everybody. And I know it's just one season. I don't think we've seen the Ravens win multiple Super Bowls here. But, I mean, what can you say? They were just unreal when it mattered. 60 sacks? They went 11-6. It's pretty good. Okay, let me see what their defense is looking like. Disguise 3-4 Baltimore defense. Are we set up for a 3-4? Not really. We could swing it for sure. Rodgers D tackle, Claxton Rousseau at defensive end. They could play on the inside. And then, Tremaine Edmonds, superstar dev finally. We could have, I don't know. We don't really have the edge rushers in that case. Like, we have Gordon. We could play Rousseau as an edge and then start Bird, Rodgers, Claxton on the inside. And then it'd be Rousseau, Gordon. And then we'd have Judge as a backup, who has star dev, by the way, Brooks and Edmonds. Like, we could make it work as a 3-4. Definitely could. But also, our defense is doing very, very well in the regular season. Like, we had the number 2 defense. Why would I change? They have 2 95-plus overall defensive ends. Right ends, by the way. I don't know where they're playing individually. 88 overall left end. They don't even have legit outside linebackers. I mean, Kevin Dotson, I guess. Not Kevin Dotson, but this Kevin Dotson. Number 19 at outside linebacker. I mean, he looks pretty good, to be fair, but not anything crazy. I mean, it seems like the Ravens just have an unbelievable defensive line. Like, so stacked. I mean, it seems like they just built a sick defense with so much depth. And their corners are great. And their safeties are good enough. Definitely going to try and re-sign some of these guys. Xavier McKinney and Tremaine Edmonds I probably have to pass on. But I do want to extend at least Jarrell Donaldson. I mean, he's pretty good. 6-year deal for 27-year-old running back. I'm kind of out on. But he's definitely good. I'll give it to him. Gabriel Davis going to test free agency. I'm actually okay with that because we don't need him. We have 2 sick receivers otherwise. Dawson Knox going to test free agency as well. And yeah, I think this is probably a pretty good spot to leave the team in the hands of the CPU. And you're probably wondering, why do I do that? 20-year rebuild. Like, why are you not doing every single season? One, the video is already going to be extremely long. That's just important for making the video consumable for most people. It's already going to be out of, I guess, the large majority. They just can't handle the super long videos. So I try to make it a little bit easier to watch. I do, at the end of the day, make videos so people can watch them. But also, we're on cruise control. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. So the goal now is to make it a little bit more challenging. And we'll see where the team is in 5 years. I'm going to let the CPU auto control everything. And then we'll pick up probably around 2034, 2035. And see if we can't pick up from there and see where the team is. So, update. We are in the 2034 offseason, and a lot has changed. The CPU just signed Bijan Robinson, who's 34 now, and not great. And when you look at the roster, it's very interesting. So, you'll see some familiar faces. We drafted Spears. You remember he was the right guard, now playing tackle. Offensive line looks pretty good. The CPU did a really good job with getting really good development players. I'm not sure if they were signed or drafted. Some of them signed for sure, like Snowden, I believe. But there are some really good young players in here. Maybe not Dom Young. But we'll see the quarterback. You notice Josh Allen is not here. Instead, we have 27-year-old superstar A.J. Carman. Looks pretty good. Got a cannon of an arm. And as you can see, Jarrell Donaldson's up to superstar development. Is 32 years old now, but is still, trucking along, doing pretty well. In behind him is 25-year-old Markel Cook, who I think is going to end up taking over the reins. 93 catching. 5'6", 174. Okay. You remember Derek Cleary, who we signed in free agency. Looks very good. He's still around. And then defensively, they brought in Jalen Carter. He is 34 now, but still very, 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 very good. One of the better D tackles I've probably ever seen. Terrell Rogers is still here. Also looks pretty good. Still not much of a pass rusher. Matthew Claxton still here, even though he's 32. Still looks fairly good, if not anything better than that. And Artez Judge now has Superstar X Factor, is 27 years old, and just got Superstar X Factor. He looks incredible. I moved him back to middle linebacker from outside linebacker just to make him cheaper in the long term, but I could move him back for sure. Definitely could happen. The safeties are different now. Darrell Chamberlain seems pretty cool. 25 years old, 85 overall. And as you can see at corner, we're set. Steven Landry's 29, but is a 95 overall star dev corner. Very, very good. And there's no slouch on the other side. Jamal Curse, only 24 years old. Superstar development, 88 overall, playing up to an 89. Zone coverage is very bad, but everything else is fantastic. So the team is still pretty good, but we do have a bit of a challenge now to make this team a true Super Bowl competitor. As you can see, we have $66 million to potentially spend in free agency, and there are some familiar faces. Josh Allen is here, and I'm kind of tempted to give Josh Allen a contract, but he's 39. I gotta not do that. Patrick Mahomes is here in 39. T. Higgins is 35 and still playing. Justin Herbert. I would also give Zamir Saxton a 2-year deal. It's good depth on the defensive line at the very least. So hopefully we can get him. See BJ Ojolari. Is Roman Jackson the dude we had? I don't think so. I think that's a different Roman. Yeah, I think he'd be a little bit older. So we pick at number 25. I'll give you guys the breakdown of what happened over the past few seasons when we go to the next offseason. I think I simulated past it when I stopped the simulation. So unfortunately, can't see the season recap right now. Or can I? I probably can. Well, let's do it right now. So I believe the last one we saw was Ravens-Packers. In 2030, we actually made it to the Super Bowl in simulation. However, Washington football team crushed us, 49-16. Josh Jacobs won MVP. Kayvon Thibodeau, Defensive Player of the Year, like that. And the Offensive Rookie of the Year was actually a receiver on our team, Daniel Dunn. Don't remember drafting him. In 2031, the Bills made it back to the Super Bowl. As soon as I just straight simulate out, we make back-to-back Super Bowls. That's hilarious. Josh Allen won MVP of the league. Greg Rousseau won Super Bowl MVP. That's right, he's no longer here. Going out on top, it looks like. But Josh Allen, big-time MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, and another Super Bowl. 2032, the Packers have been there a lot. Josh Allen won MVP of the league, though Greg Rousseau wins Defensive Player of the Year. 2033, you can see no Bills involved anywhere, although the MVP was Isaiah Foskey. Must have put up an incredible amount of sacks. Texans did very well to win the Super Bowl. And then in 2034, the Ravens were back in it. DJ Uiagalelei wins NFL MVP with the Giants. Greg Rousseau wins Defensive Player of the Year. Where is Greg Rousseau? Greg Rousseau has 243 career sacks. I guess he retired. Well, I see him there. Is he still on the Bills? He is. Did I just miss him? Was he injured? I'm confused. I don't see him. A lot of big retirements. Justin Jefferson, Netani Muti. Greg Rousseau did retire after 14 years. There it is. Let's see Greg Rousseau while we still can. He's had a pretty good run. Deep into the 2030s. Look at this. Or into his 30s, in the 2030s. For those who don't want to do the math, that is 97 sacks in a 4-year period. I also want to see Isaiah Foskey for a second. 22 sacks. It seems like he's having quite the career. And he put up 31 in his MVP season. 31's a lot. I'll say that. It's a lot of sacks. It'd be the record by 10. Almost. We have a new record for passing yards in a season. However, not touchdowns in a season. That season by Patrick Mahomes is insane, but by Peyton Manning is just legendary. But I think it will eventually be beat. Najee has been insane. We have new records for rushing yards in a season. Derrick Henry. Rushing touchdowns in a season is Najee Harris now. Receiving yards. No one's beat Calvin Johnson. It's really just that season from Gabe Davis early on. Kind of wild. Receiving touchdowns, still Randy Moss. Although Jacoby Myers with the Chiefs had 19. Wow. And then Myles Garrett, and Isaiah Foskey, all 31 sacks in a year. Rousseau tied, or I guess at number 2, really, but he's the 4th highest on that list. Interceptions, I don't think we're going to see any. These are all seasons in the 1900s. I'm just going to simulate to our pick. I think we're probably missing out on a number of good players, but that's a draft sometimes. So we kind of have to reset things a little bit and just hopefully get lucky with who we draft. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm tempted, but he's so slow and so bad. I'm going to take, where is he here? Bobby Claiborne. He was a player I looked at, and I liked what I saw. Looks like a great athlete with A, finesse moves, A, pursuit, A, play rec. I think he's going to be really good. And with hidden dev, 21 years old, I'm pretty happy with that. Doug Bynes also seems interesting, another defensive end. In the second round, I'm just trying to get lucky, basically. Marquise Mann looks all right. I don't know. We're just guessing at this point. I'll probably let the CPU handle the rest of the draft. Bobby Claiborne is good at least, 75 overall. Will he start? I don't know. We actually did okay overall. Like, there are some okay players in here, but like none of the 80s that we were seeing kind of the last time I left you guys. So to get a player around the middle of the draft, you know, late in the first round, I think that's okay. I do kind of want to fix this lineup a bit, this roster. You might realize how many quarterbacks we have. Hook 'em horns, Jeff Brackens. All right, sure. We don't need him. Do we need Michael Hawkins? Also, no. But these guys are good enough where they're going to have trade value. We could upgrade the receivers. I like the offensive line, and we have good depth there too, so I think we're fine there. And then defensively, Claxton, Saxton. We're probably going to start Claiborne just because, I don't know. Why? I mean, I signed Saxton. Why am I going to start Claiborne? Because he has star dev and he's 21. He can kind of be the future of the rest of this rebuild. So that's kind of my thought. Corner, I like. Linebacker could be a need. Free safety. I don't even know that we need a free safety. Philip Peak, I think, is going to be okay. Really looking for a linebacker. I don't need all these running backs either, but we don't really need to move any of them. And of course, I do want to continue to play out the season or the career of the running back that we drafted. Jarrell Donaldson, yes. He's got superstar dev now. He's in the twilight of his career, but he's had some pretty good seasons. I mean, a consistent 1,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns. Like, that's a phenomenal career. We'll take that. Yeah, our linebackers could be younger and better. So, I want to fix that. I mean, corner, I don't really even think is an issue. Our team is not actually that old or that bad. We could use a kicker or punter on roster. I would just say overall we lack, like, true studs. It's insane how much value quarterbacks have. I mean, I guess it's not that weird, but I'm trading Jeff Brackens for, I forget his name, Hambrick. Where is he here? Daryl Hambrick. He's only 24 years old, has superstar X factor. I'm in. 90 speed, 90 tackle, great zone coverage, great man coverage, really. Like, this dude's a stud, and he's only 24. No brainer. The only problem, he's going to end up being a free agent very soon, so he's not going to be cheap to re-sign. I like how the Broncos' need is just like the entire offensive line, pretty much. Left guard, left tackle. And just, do I want to trade any of those guys? I'm about to make a blockbuster move. Okay, there it is. It's a huge trade. Matt Hawkins, our quarterback, backup QB. Greg Burke, outside linebacker, and a first-round pick are on the move to the Broncos, getting 288 overall. Very good players. Let me introduce you to them. First up, we got Marcus Tyson. Not to be confused with Mike Tyson with the M. Tyson, but he'll bite your ear off. 92 finesse moves he's getting to the QB. 88 speed. Block shedding's pretty awful. Zone coverage is pretty good. He's obviously more of a 3-4 player. I think that's pretty much clear, but he'll be our Dwight Freeney type. I mean, he's just so light to be playing defensive end, but he can play off the ball. I mean, maybe we just leave him there. I'm not definitely opposed to doing that. Then we got Pat Borden, who's a little bit older at 27, but that's not old. He's going to be good enough to start. Great zone coverage as well. I'm pretty happy with Pat Borden overall. And I mean, what do we want to develop on him? Finesse moves is pretty bad. But at middle linebacker, I mean, do we want to move him to outside linebacker, or do I just put Artez Judge back out there? And I also traded for Darrell Hambrick. So I think Artez Judge moves to outside linebacker. I still think I probably should move Marcus Tyson down to defensive end despite being light. I think he's going to be incredibly productive still. Maybe he just won't be the base starting outside linebacker. I don't know. So defense is looking pretty awesome now. Where is the dude I drafted? He's just like a draft and stash player. We'll try and develop him. But, I mean, the D-line is obviously, like, really good right now. So, obviously, there are things we need to improve. But I think we've made a lot of really worthwhile changes so far when retaking over. I'm excited to simulate to the playoffs and kind of see where we are. We do need a kicker and punter, though. Let me do that. And I'll see you at the playoffs. I think we should be involved. So we had the best defense and the best offense in the league. Maybe the first time that's happened. And we went 15-2 as a result. A lot of the names at this point are going to be new to you guys and to me as well. AJ Carmen is our quarterback. That's a name we're going to have to start remembering because he had a really good season. Nearly 5,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns, under 10 picks. No running game, really. Jarrell Donaldson, just not the player we once knew. Receiving, Trevor Myers. Young receiver at a USC, was very productive. Seems like more of a slot, but was quite good. Derek Cleary, we signed him in free agency. He's also very good still. Darrell Hambrick, plenty of tackles. Pat Borden in there as well. We just traded for those guys. Matthew Claxton, 19 tackles for loss. 15 for Jalen Carter and Terrell Rogers. Tyson with 13. He also had 15 sacks. But Jalen Carter with 19 led the way. He's still just unbelievable. 6.5 for Claxton and Terrell Rogers. And then 4 picks for Jamal Curse, the stud young corner out of Oklahoma. Love that. Darrell Chamberlain, the safety, played well. Antonio Lloyd, only 24. He's not going to get up to star dev probably, but still good. Stephen Landry, you guys remember drafting him. He's still really, really good, even though none of these guys can play zone coverage. It seems like you don't need to. Okay, Ravens, Buffalo, Bills here in the divisional. I'd love for this to be another Super Bowl season. We made multiple when we did the break for simulation, but here we're back to losing them. I mean, it's uncanny. If we don't simulate the entire season, we will not be successful in the playoffs. And the Ravens won the Super Bowl 35-17 over the 49ers. Anthony Richardson, the Florida Gator QB. Gator wins Super Bowl, or wins regular MVP with the Saints. The Miami quarterback won Super Bowl MVP with the Ravens. And CJ Stroud wins Offensive Player of the Year. All potential QBs in this 2023 draft class: Richardson, Stroud, and Tyler Van Dyke. AJ Carmen is up to Superstar X Factor. At 28 years old, I think there's still something to develop here. So we have a lot of money to negotiate, which concerns me because that might mean we have a lot of high-profile guys to resign, which is somewhat true. Not as much as I thought, though. Stephen Landry gets up to Superstar Dev. About time. He doesn't want to sign the contract. Jalen Carter also going to test free agency. So is Terrell Rogers. No one wants to return to Buffalo. You know, I guess it makes sense. Gonna have to overpay these guys a little bit. Jamal Curse is back. That's another really important one. Gonna let Jarrell Donaldson walk. He's 33 now. Philip Peake can come back, though, for 4 years sounds about right. Might look to trade him, but we can always unload that salary. Sean Peck can go. Eric Bortillo can go. Joey Peterson can go. Trevor Myers, I don't really want. Yeah, not for that price. It's not expensive, but it is for the level of production I anticipate that he gives us. I am going to franchise tag Stephen Landry, I think. No, I'm not. I'll wait for free agency. Nelly Dixon. Nelly Dixon. Josh Allen's still hanging around, by the way. Thaddeus Tuck is in free agency. Holy cow, 34 now. Spending a lot of money to bring back some of our guys and also go after some new ones. Hopefully we end up bringing them back and bringing the new guys in. I anticipate a few rejections. It's just kind of how that goes. But we'll see. No rejections. We got a power back. Got Jalen Carter back. Got Stephen Landry back. Stephen, Yeah, Steven Landry. Got Terrell Rogers back. Rogers and Carter are on one-year deals. We got a new left tackle, Nathan Gamble, only 26 years old, 84 overall. Can develop into being a good offensive lineman. And I also got Justin Harris. He's 26 years old. He's not amazing. He's an interesting player. Let me show you. So he's just, that's not him. Where is he? Is that who I just signed? Yes. Okay, so Justin Harris. He's 6'5", 315 at defensive end. His block shedding is low, though. Play rec is low. Very weird player. I'm moving him to defensive tackle, of course. And it's just going to be good depth. Maybe eventually starts. Dev trade for Bobby Claiborne is star. Of course, we drafted him last year. Our defensive line's good. We have so many studs just rotating around. So I'm pretty happy about that. Russell Byers only has normal dev. He definitely is more well-rounded than Justin Harris, who I just paid. Didn't pay him a ton or anything. And that superstar dev definitely made him appealing to me. And his block sheet gets a bit of a boost at defensive tackle, which is nice. Pat Borden, by the way, goes up to Superstar X Factor, I believe. I think he was Superstar before. Now, we don't have a lot of depth at linebacker right now. I think that's got to change. I could look to trade one of these defensive tackles who we just re-signed for a one-year deal. But the thing is, they're just so much better than the alternative. So I do think we should hold on to all those guys, even though that kind of seems crazy. Matthew Claxton, though, should probably be moved. And maybe I don't even know. What would I need here? Like a receiver? Backup linebacker? Probably a receiver. Okay, that just gets accepted. It's going to be Claxton for Spellman. Now, when you look at Spellman, what he brings to the table, 24 years old, 80 overall, playing up to an 83, does have superstar dev, and I think this is someone that we can develop. Big-bodied receiver that can still run pretty well. I think he's exactly what the offense needs. And then Bobby Claiborne can take over at left end. I think he's ready to go. So, yeah, like, we could trade for somebody better at that position, but I think we're fine overall. And then in the draft, I don't know, looking for depth at middle linebacker, I guess. Still fine with the safeties. Defense is good. I like the offense as well. NFL draft time, we still have 36 mil in available salary cap, but we don't pick till the end of the second round. Some of the trades we made obviously ended up with us not having very many high picks here, or a high pick, I guess you could say. But I'm looking for depth at middle linebacker. Looking to take an athlete. F Pursuit is pretty much going to rule out Max Osborne. I just need a backup middle linebacker, so I am drafting for need here. But Donovan Fox looks okay. A awareness, hidden dev, not bad. I could also use a backup tight end. I don't know that I love what's here. I'll just trade this pick for a somewhat established backup tight end. Trading a third-round pick and what is now a backup left guard after we signed an offensive lineman in free agency for a tight end from the Jets, Andrew Richmond. Yep, interdivisional trade. Cry about it. He is 26 years old, 85 speed, 90 catching. Seems good. It's very tough to find a good tight end, I found. In this, especially one with a development trait. Very, very rare. So the fact that we even found someone who's young with star dev that's decently rated, not easy. So I was happy to go ahead and trade for him, especially with a backup offensive lineman now. Kind of a no-brainer. Donovan Fox seems okay. 72 overall. Does have star or better dev, but probably star. Did we miss out on anybody sick? There is an 80, I see. Zach Felton. Decent draft class, nothing crazy. So we actually upgraded at tight end like that. We have a lot of potential still for being a pretty well-established team. Even though there's a lot of roster turnover, this running back who's wearing number 12 should be pretty good. More of a receiving back, no question. 5'6", 174 isn't really an every down guy, but could still be productive. I would say running back kind of sticks out as one of our biggest needs. He has superstar X factors all over the place on defense. Awesome defense. We could actually use a stud running back. I signed Mike Stuckey to be a good combo power back. Dude, they don't even bother signing realistic numbers at this point. But yeah, I really like where we are. I could go out and get like a true RB1, but I don't really know what I would trade. I kind of like where our team is. I don't really want to trade anyone. So I'm just going to simulate to the playoffs and hope we're in there. Only going 10-7, but still making the playoffs, of course. A.J. Carmen, our quarterback, led the league in passing yards, third in touchdowns. It was a good season. Good season. We saw Josh Allen have a few like this. Rushing, we need a running back. I think that much is clear. These guys really aren't being as productive as we need them to be because they're not, you know, RB1s. They're rotational guys. We need that true main guy. Terrell Carroll, this is the guy with the most action on the team. Okay, well, we got to get guys like Derek Cleary and Tyler Spellman more involved. That's for sure. Spellman in the slot, maybe. Definitely potential for that. It's just that, like, Terrell Carroll can't be the guy. So that's kind of on me. And then defensively, a lot of tackles, of course. We're used to seeing those. Tackles for loss. Jalen Carter, 23. Artez Judge was 17. And then sacks, Marcus Tyson, 16.5. 12.5 for Artez Judge. 10.5 for Jalen Carter. Interception, 6 for Stephen Landry. What a season. He's getting better with age. The rest of the team had, what, 6 combined? I think exactly. That's insane. We won a playoff game. We beat the Jets. Unbelievable. 34-20. I don't know that we've had a rebuild that's been as unsuccessful as this one in the playoffs. That's not true. I probably have. Beat the Steelers, please. We're a 92 overall to their 86, and we actually have made it back to the conference championship. The Colts are decent. They're an 85, but they really shouldn't be able to compete with us. So I'd like to just simulate to the Super Bowl and be in the Super Bowl. And we can see our second one that we've actually been able to see. We've been to 3. 2 of them were in that simulation from 2029 to 2034. And we've made it to the Super Bowl. Let's go. 10-7 Saints against the 10-7 Buffalo Bills. We are significantly better than they are. So I'm sure they're going to win. Stephen Landry just got +1 speed. Now he's the fastest he's ever been at 30 years old. 99 speed. Daryl Hambrick with a nice little boost. Yeah, he's an actual stud, is what I can say. Very good player. I'm considering making a move at running back. I've been saying that, but now I'm thinking I might actually trade the good running back. All right, +9 overall. Let's see if that matters for anything. Bills Saints, hoping to win our 3rd Super Bowl overall. Again, this is only the 2nd one that we've been in on video. We won the other one when the camera was off. But we're up 3-0 early in the first quarter. Now it's 3-3. Not a whole lot of action so far. Field goal game. It's 6-3 Bills. First touchdown goes our way. 13-3. Now 20-3 Buffalo. This could be a blowout. But the Saints aren't going down without a fight. It's now 27-17. But too little, too late. The Saints end up losing by a touchdown. 6 points. So, you know, they fought at the end, but it was just too little, too late, as I said. Buffalo Bills win our 3rd Super Bowl overall, which is very, very nice to see. And even though Josh Allen couldn't be here for it, got A.J. Carmen, new QB. 22 of 32, 261, had a touchdown. No running game whatsoever. And Markel Cook, our running back, had 10 catches for 120. Packers QB Mike Baker wins MVP. Not really a lot of Bills representation there, but Artez Judge wins Super Bowl MVP. And the Bills win our 3rd Super Bowl. So Jalen Carter's here, Marcus Tyson, A.J. Carmen. Wow, this could get expensive very quickly. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is going to get really expensive. But we have money. It's just a question of how expensive Marcus Tyson and really A.J. Carmen's going to be. Carmen's back, though. It's about 30-ish million a year. Probably, maybe bring back Jalen Carter. Probably pass on Terrell Rogers, though. Sam Snowden wants to play for a new team next year. Well, we'll see about that. Do you want to bring back Terrell Carroll? I think so. And he's back. Okay, so this actually went pretty well. Got Terrell Carroll back. Got Hal Costello back to play right guard. Tyler Spellman at receiver we traded for. Zamir Saxon, I'm going to let go. Dom Young, I'm going to let go. We have a new tight end. Sam Snowden, we'll see in free agency. Only got 66 run block. Paul Fowler is back. Terrell Rogers probably going to walk. A.J. Carmen is back. Marcus Tyson back. Phillip Sears back. Jalen Carter, a 1-year deal. I think he's definitely worth 12 mil still. So he returns. But we don't really have a lot of money in free agency. So we might have to be drafting an offensive lineman or something. 8.4 mil. I don't know how I'm going to afford the running back that I want, which like isn't even in free agency. I just mean overall. Vinny Mills, 95 overall linebacker. Don't need a linebacker. Will Anderson Jr. still playing. Does not look very good at this point. Ooh, so we got the offensive lineman I wanted. Now it's just time to rearrange the offensive line so I can make everything work the way I want. I think that's good. Just moving Fowler over to right tackle, where's the scheme fit, works perfectly. We actually still have a bit of money. Ooh. Where's my receiver? Did he retire? No. Can we have a lot of left tackles? I don't know where we got all of them from, but we have a lot. We are going to probably trade one of those for sure. What do I need? Receiver is a need-ish. Don't really have much in the way of defensive ends either. I mean, I have Claiborne and Tyson. Claiborne's still young enough. This D-tackle signing didn't really work out the way I thought. Don't have to trade him, but he's a trade piece. Okay, trading a right tackle playing up to a 75 overall, but yes, it's a 72. And a third-round pick for an 84 overall running back who was in the last draft. His name is Zach Felton. Does have superstar dev, and I think can be eventually that bell cow running back for us. +1 speed. Nice. Up to a 94. So he's not even slow at 6'1", 221. It's going to be a really nice trade for us here. Let me add a fourth rounder. So it's going to be... We can't afford it. Okay, cool. So I cleared some space and I tried the trade again, and it is good this time. The cap penalties were screwing us up, so I just had to release some guys that were just kind of bottom feeders on the roster anyway. But it's Stuckey, who I just don't have a need for anymore at running back. And then Harris, who I also signed, who I have no need for anymore. And a fourth-round pick gets us Nazir Madden. And Nazir Madden's actually the new highest overall receiver on the team, at least joint highest. 25 years old, superstar dev, is a slot receiver, 99 catch in traffic. Would like to develop his vertical game a little bit more, especially with 93 speed. But that's just not his game right now. NFL draft time. We'll just simulate the last pick of the first round as we won the Super Bowl. Always good to have this pick. And I'm actually going to go ahead and try and trade this pick for a higher future first rounder because I don't really need anything at the moment. So no point in wasting the pick. I'll do it for the Bengals first rounder. It's projected to be number 27. Hope it's higher than that. And we only have $620K in available salary cap now. That's not good. What do we miss out on? Let's see. Okay, so multiple 80 overall players. 3 80 overall players. A corner. Another corner at an 81. So this was a good class to need a corner. And a running back at 82. We're getting to the tail end here. Our team's looking really good. It's just about performing now. Won the Super Bowl last year. Pretty happy about that. But now it's time to do even better than that. And win it twice in a row. Playoff time. Another 15-2 season. And we are negative 100,000. No one can spot that. It's not how the salary cap works. But we'll do deep threat for Nazir Madden. And I'm hoping for another Super Bowl run. 15-2. I mean, we crushed it clearly. AJ Carmen leads the league in passing yards and touchdowns. Only 40 passing touchdowns led the league here in Sim. Usually a lot higher than that. But 5,003 yards. 40 touchdowns, only 9 picks. Markel Cook still got the bulk of the touches, but Zach Felton had 18 touchdowns. He'll eventually take over as that lead back, I imagine. But Markel Cook got the most touches. Even though he's more of a receiving back, I think we might change that next year. So yards per carry is misleading on Zach Felton because he got all the short yardage plays. Had 18 touchdowns, though. Nazir Madden, what a trade. 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns. Andrew Richmond had a great season. Tyler Spellman was okay. And then defensively, a lot of tackles per usual. 17 tackles for loss for Jalen Carter and 14 sacks. He's put together a Hall of Fame career, I think, obviously. I mean, look at this. It's double-digit sacks from 2026, and he got close every other year, but double-digit sacks from 2026 to 2037, and sometimes a lot more than just 10. 19 in 2035. And keep in mind, that's a defensive tackle. Marcus Tyson did very well. 15.5 sacks for Bobby Claiborne. He's knocking on the door of, like, superstar dev, I think. Jalen Carter, great. That's pretty much it. In the divisional, got the Miami Dolphins. Maybe the first time we've seen them in the playoffs, actually. Hopefully they don't eliminate us. 45-13, big time win, and now the Titans in the conference championship, 1 win away from the Super Bowl again. And we are back in the Super Bowl, Bills versus Bears. We've been so much more successful here in the 2030s than we were in the 2020s. They are an 81 overall, we are a 93 overall. This should be a Super Bowl win. Should be number 4. Bears out to an early 7-0 lead, but we erase that, make it 7-7. Bears now up 10, but it's going to be, or up 10-7, but now it's 10-10, but now it's 20-17. A lot's changing very quickly, okay? Very close game. Our offense is not coming to play. And they're trying to punt. 4th and 15 from midfield. Probably the right call. We're not going to do it, though. We got Carmen. He's got a laser. I don't love the options. Richmond make a play. Ah, God, we lost the Super Bowl. Should have punted. Ooh, they kicked a field goal. We actually have a chance here. Under 4 minutes to play. Game play for the first time. Same play that just was unsuccessful on the 4th down. Okay, I don't know how that corner knew to run with that. He's supposed to be taking the vertical. Why are you watching the QB in man coverage? He wasn't in man, he was in a deep zone. It's like you're not looking at the quarterback there. You're running with the vertical route. Here's Spellman, though. Big time gain for Tyler Spellman. 2 picks for Carmen in this game. Not good. Touchdown puts us on top as long as we convert the extra point. So that's the biggest goal here. Just get in the end zone and feed Tyler Spellman. 2nd and 1. I mean, here's where we're going. Madden. I thought about going, oh, nice little down block there. Nice little cut block. I was thinking about just going and pitching it to the running back, but I'm like, it's a Super Bowl. That'd be a little bit too crazy for that situation. Try a little hook and ladder. I'm not that insane. Who even is Cook? Superstar dev named Cook? Okay, that was nearly undercut. That would have been no good. Big catch, though. Oh, Cook is our running back. Ah. He's the receiving back. Just over a minute to play. Wide open is Carroll. We're not going in the end zone yet. Just short. We're taking time off the clock. It's smart, I think. 20 seconds to play. Handoff. Cook back up the middle. And he will be just short. I'm actually totally fine with that. We're going to call a timeout here with 7 seconds. Cook remains the running back. 7 seconds left to play in the Super Bowl. 2nd and goal. Handoff up the middle. Touchdown. We have tied it with 5 seconds to play. We will not lose the Super Bowl in regulation. That's for sure, unless we get like a pick 2 here somehow. All it's going to take is an extra point, and we'll once again be Super Bowl champions. We will be iced. Can I make an iced extra point? Here we go. Kick is up. Kick is no good. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Throwing for content? Yeah, it's fun. I don't know how that went wide left. I really don't. And the Bears have won the toss. Okay. Need to stop. No Devin Hester kickoff return touchdown, please. Please just cover the kick. I don't even think we're going to see a return here. This feels like a dangerous defensive call. They get the ball out quickly. Yeah, I mean, that could have been really, really bad. Touchdown ends it. Under pressure, down goes the quarterback. It's Jalen Carter. That's exactly what we needed there. It's 3rd and 21 now. It's going to be very difficult for them to convert. I'll allow anything that isn't a first down. Anything underneath that is totally fine. Little check down. We got Borden out here. Big tackle in space. They're probably going to punt. Field goal would now end the game for us. Up to the 38-yard line. I have to throw that. It's Spellman down the field. Spellman's got speed. Spellman wins it in overtime. The Bills have secured their 4th Super Bowl. Walk-off touchdown. Love to see it. 4th Super Bowl for Buffalo. Some decent free agents here. It's Jalen Carter, who's 37 now, and Nazir Madden, who's up to Superstar X Factor. I definitely want to re-sign him. Jalen Carter's going to be a little bit tough. Carter's going to test free agency. We don't really have the money to do anything other than franchise tag him, so I'm going to do that, and then we'll just leave holes at some other positions. It is what it is. NFL draft time, picking number 23. Is there anyone worth trading up for? 95% scouted. Don't know catching, deep route running, or release for a receiver. Sweet. Lewis Beeson looks pretty sweet. He's a deep threat with A, medium, and short route running. I kind of want to move up for him just cuz. 2 firsts, which I have this year, and a third gets it done. We're moving up to the number 3 spot with New Orleans, and we're going to take this receiver who looks very good. One of the better receivers we've seen in the draft so far, and even though that's a talented position for us already, we're going to add to it. Lewis Beeson, welcome to the team. Hidden dev, love to see it. Decent speed, acceleration, agility. Change of direction isn't too high, but he's also 6'2", 233, so I'm okay with that. Davon Blunt cannot defend the run at all, but he seems like he can do other things. In the late second round, I don't think it's awful value. His overall will be in the 60s for sure, but I think I'm okay with that. Our team's so good, I'm just looking for backups. Excited to see this receiver, though. 78. 78 overall. I'm really happy with that. Really well-rounded player. Will be an excellent third receiver, maybe even play in the slot. And Davon Blunt's actually in the 70s. 58 block shed is horrific. And man, he's just backup. And that was actually, I guess, overall a worse receiver than Keith Bowe. They both look good. I had a decision between the two of them, and it seems like Lewis Beeson's a little bit worse, but I think it's close. All right, time to put Felton into the RB1 role. I think that's a given at this point. We talked about that. Receivers, oh, who is this? Connor Cleveland, random superstar dev receiver? I have a lot of depth at receiver now. I don't need all these guys. And I can't even trade guys. I have no cap room. I'm being killed right now. So we just have to win the Super Bowl, I guess. Defensively, ooh, D tackle's a problem. And it's going to be a problem that we won't be solving. We're going to have to deal. This team is nuts, though. So good. Another first-round bye, 14-3 for the boys. A.J. Carman, another great season. 40 touchdowns, once again, leads the NFL. 4,700 passing yards, also leads the NFL. Rushing, Zach Felton definitely did a really good job as our main running back. This is his role. Oh, is he wearing OJ's 33? No, OJ was... That's not what number that is. I think OJ was 32. That number is 34. I know what the number 4 looks like. I know I deceived you for a minute. Nazir Madden, by the way, great year. Very, very good numbers, and he's really good. Deep route running is not so great, but look at that year. 1,800 receiving yards, 120 catches. Nobody else really even had to show up, and they didn't. Defensively, a lot of tackles. 22 for loss for Bobby Claiborne. Marcus Tyson, 14 sacks, 13.5 for Bobby Claiborne. I'm losing it. 13 for Jalen Carter. Interceptions. We get a few. Safeties combined for 6, like that. Lewis Beeson, superstar X Factor, by the way. I just noticed it in the top there. That's a pretty good rookie draft pick. We made the right decision. Browns in the divisional. Hopefully move right on by them. And we do. 37-7. Not even close. I don't really even know what to do at receiver. We have so much depth and so much talent. Just the random superstar receiver. And now we just drafted a superstar X Factor. Like, I don't really know what to do. And we're back in the Super Bowl. The battle of two teams people think play in New York. Giants, of course, play in northern New Jersey. Upgrade physical, I guess, for Nas Madden. And we'll hop into the Super Bowl. The Giants are at 83 overall, led by DJ Uiagalelei. Giants up 10-0, but we're going to get our first touchdown. But it's 17-7 Giants now as we come to the end of the second quarter. Got to find ways to get into the end zone. That's clearly been our problem. Very close game still, though. Defense showing up, and we've taken the lead, 21-17. Defense with a big stop. Giants take the lead, though, and we are jumping in on offense. 1st and 10, a minute and a half to play, and hopefully we win another Super Bowl. That's really good. Spellman, hero in last year's Super Bowl. Big catch here. That's a ton of chunk yardage. Working off play action. Another crossing route open. Good throw from Carman and Madden's there. Big first down. Carman going over 250 yards passing on that throw. Felton into the backfield now. Offensive line, man, they did their job. We just couldn't stay on our feet there with Felton. Under a minute to play now. 2 touchdowns, no field goals. I see the tight end. We're going to roll out with Carman. Give us a block, and we'll just slide, take the first down. Clock's going to keep moving. Don't want a field goal, though. 1st and goal, handoff. Cook can't really get too much. Going into the hurry up. I don't know if we can snap the ball quickly enough here, though. Rolling out with Carmen. Throw on the run! Incomplete. That could have been ugly. 3rd and goal. Kind of tempted to run the ball here, but I'm going to trust that somebody gets open. And we get sacked. Ah! Frustrating. Lozano for a field goal try. That is up and good, and we're going to tie it. And we're going to another overtime in the Super Bowl. And they've happened so rarely in NFL history. I believe only one time as the Giants win the toss. Only one time in actual NFL history. Patriots against the Falcons. Where, of course, the Pats came out on top. But we've had back-to-back here in Madden. Just couldn't find the end zone there. I think we got a little bit too antsy. Tried to take too much time off the clock and didn't worry about scoring the touchdown like we probably should have. We will be getting the football back. Bad drive by the Giants. 2nd down was just a throw out, a sack, incompletion. And then the 3rd down, which is a straight-up incompletion. But a field goal would win us the game. And Carroll was just not fast. We can win the game. We just need to trust, you know, what has put us in this spot. And that's going to our receivers and letting them make plays after the catch. 3rd and 10. The Giants' pass rush is getting to us just before we can hit the appropriate receiver. I mean, we just can't get the ball out quickly enough. And I probably need to be a little bit more decisive there, but waiting for stuff to get open. Good punt, though. All right, more defense. 3rd and inches. This is actually a really huge down. I'm going to bring the safety up. I mean, my defensive line being like this is kind of crazy. Yeah, I probably allowed that. Driving the Giants back. We're doing a really good job to force them out of field goal range. This is not a gimme right now. Okay, that's got to be a big stop. They're going to lose at least a yard. This will not be a gimme. And, of course, we'll try to ice the kicker. Here it is. I don't know if icing the kicker does anything to the CPU kicker. They're kicking from the 42. It's a 52-yarder. And it is no good. Wide left. We're going to get another chance. It had the leg, just not the accuracy. And this is just what we needed. They're blitzing everybody. I see R1. Just don't trust it. We're going to go catch and run. Nazir Madden down the sideline. Juking back inside. He's down at the 17. That's exactly what we needed. Yes, I saw the route working its way up the field out of the backfield. I didn't want to risk any type of throw out of sack taking too long to get the football out. We'll throw it now. End zone. Felton, toe drag, touchdown. It's over. The Bills have done it again. Back-to-back Super Bowls are going to Buffalo. The Lombardi Trophy returns to Western New York. Bills win the Super Bowl. Earl Miner is your MVP. AJ Carmen wins Super Bowl MVP. And Matt Rule is still in the NFL, this time with the Giants, and he coached them to the Super Bowl and won Coach of the Year. Who do we have to re-sign? Okay, so Markel Cook, I think we're going to let walk. We just don't have money. I mean, we have $47K in cap room, and I need to bring back Bobby Claiborne. But that's actually the only player I need to bring back. So we're going to buy ourselves another year, and I'm going to get denied by Bobby Claiborne. Well, he's going to test out free agency. I'm going to franchise tag him for 20 mil. I still don't have anything in the way of a defensive tackle, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So we can't sign anyone, obviously. We have no money. But what we can do is go to the draft and hopefully get a sick defensive tackle. I need there to be a really good defensive tackle in this draft, and I need to be able to find them. This Troy Gibson corner, I bet, is going to be sick. But unfortunately, I have to check out the D tackles. Can't draft a corner. Or can I? Nah, I probably won't. Yeah, Troy Gibson is going to be so good. But let me see these D tackles. So, AJ Beacham definitely looks okay. I'm not thrilled with him. Zeke Ginn looks okay. But I'm also not thrilled. Wow. A power rusher with A finesse moves? Stephon Mallard can get after the QB. I'm in. He's projected to go at number 26. I'm going to trade up to 18 to secure him. Maybe even 17. 1, a 2, and a 4 moves me up to 17. Kind of a lot to move up to 17 in my opinion. But I think the player is going to be really, really good and worth taking, so definitely worth it to me. And he is available, the only defensive tackle still available, and he's the newest member of the Buffalo Bills. I think he's going to be sweet. 80 speed, 87 strength. We know his finesse moves is going to be really good for a D tackle. And we know power moves is going to be pretty good as well. I think we're probably looking at low 70s finesse moves, high 70s power moves, which is fantastic. And I'll let the CPU draft whoever their heart desires here. Probably the last draft we're going to do about 20 years, but I might simulate another to get to 2041. Draft recap, we are a 93 overall. So we built back to another juggernaut. Stefan Maller's actually lower than I thought, 73 overall. But that really isn't too bad. It does have 81 power moves, 74 block shed, 75 finesse moves. Those are even down one. I think the player is actually quite good. So I'm not really too upset about this. And Troy Gibson was an 80 overall. Wow, the only guy even above a 77. So this is the team. I mean, this is such a good team. Defensively, I mean, defensive tackle is really bad. Did we miss the playoffs? No way. 9-8 missed the playoffs, and we went 9-8 by the way somehow. That's actually unbelievable. I mean, AJ Carmen was significantly worse than he has been. Don't know why he's throwing so many picks. Bizarre. I don't really know that why that would have been. It seems like we had a lot of tackles. Not usually a great sign for a defense. Although the numbers look pretty good. Bobby Claiborne has had a pretty good career, by the way. He is very solid. Isaiah Miller with a lot of tackles for loss as well and sacks. Is he playing defensive tackle? He might have been. Not having defensive tackles, it seems like maybe killed our defense, which is understandable. Yep, defense was 28th. That'll do it. A lot more salary cap now. Rams and Jets in the Super Bowl. Tyler Clement with the Ravens wins MVP. And yeah, the Jets get a Super Bowl for the second time. All right, well, yeah, for the second time overall. First time since 1963 is the year that's in my head, but could it have been 1969? It could have been. 1969. All right, so do we need to re-sign, guys? Darryl Chamberlain. Okay. Ooh, okay. Couple guys in here. Pat Borden's been really good for us for a long time. Might be time to let him go. Just take Donovan Fox and extend him. Okay, got my safeties back. Got my tight end back. Pat Borden, I'm going to have to let walk. We don't have a defensive tackle that's any good at all. And we need to figure out how to do that. We have no money still. I'm going to have to make trades. I now have a little bit more wiggle room to make trades, though. I'm going to have to trade some receivers for sure. Yeah, I mean, Terrell Carroll's got to go, and that should help us out significantly. If I can get a decent defensive tackle... Ooh, who's this? Nick Vance? I mean, is it just too good to be true? Somewhat. 96 overall defensive tackle. Highest rated one in the league right now. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this dude. He's a bit older, so I thought his trade value would be not quite as much. But this pick is going to have some more value. Oh, we can totally get this to work. Ooh, I don't have a second corner. Was it Stephen Landry was his name? He retired. So that's why we freed up some money. We need to get a decent corner somehow. That's declined. All right, I got to give up a... I give him a future 2, which... Well, okay, I'll give him a current 2. I was going to say we probably won't even end up using. Because I'm thinking this is going to be the final year. Oh, it's going to put us over the salary cap. We got to shed a little bit more. Not much, but a little bit more. Okay, I had to add in Phillip Spears to get it done. Remember, we drafted him many years ago now. He's 33 or 34. I'm trading Carroll. I'm trading a first-round pick, and I'm getting Porter back, who should be a stud. Superstar X-Factor defensive tackle. And I also want to make another trade with them. Or actually, I guess it doesn't have to be them. I need an offensive lineman that won't cost me $2 million. I'll trade a second. I'll trade a third-round pick. I'll trade whatever. Found one. Kevin Pierce. Kevin? I don't know. I think it said Kevin. 2 and a 3 gets it done. He can start immediately at left guard. Perfect trade. NFL draft time. We don't have to be a part of this. All right. Also don't have a CB2. Could that be an issue? I think so, yeah. All right, this is Operation Deal With It. See you at the playoffs. I'm calling this the final year, unless we don't make the playoffs, in which case I'll do another. 13-4, another first round bye. Oh, I just saw the numbers for AJ Carmen. 5,301 passing yards, 45 touchdowns to 10 picks. Fantastic season. Zach Felton had his best season as well, over 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's up to a 99 overall. like that. Receiving, Nazir Madden had a fantastic year as well. He will be a 99 overall with morale, at least. Still pretty good, I would say. Tight end Andrew Richmond also playing well. The other receivers really aren't doing a whole lot, but they don't have to. Just not how the offense is operated, but I mean, we have incredible talent at all these positions. And then defensively, 3 players had 100+ tackles, including Daryl Chamberlain, Artez Judge, and Daryl Hambrick. Do we have 2 guys named Daryl on the team? 22 tackles for loss for Marcus Tyson, 20 for Jonathan Porter, 14 for Claiborne and Stefan Mallard, and then sacks 20.5 for Bobby Claiborne. Very good. 19.5 for Marcus Tyson, also very good. 9.5 for Jonathan Porter, welcome to Buffalo. 5 for Mallard and Artez Judge, and then 4 picks for Jamal Curse, still playing great even at 29 years old. I thought he was older for some reason, but I guess we've had him for a minute now, and he's been young the entire time. Oh, man. All right. You guys got to respect this is the final season. I've been recording this for 2 days. Texans, Bills. The Texans have really beat us in a lot of games, at least at the start of this. Tell me it's not the case. 38-17. We're going to the AFC Championship. It's going to be Broncos, Bills. All right, let's end it on a high note. Beat the Broncos. We're way better. I mean, we should be beating them, but you never know with these simulations. But I think we're going to be successful here. And we are. It's going to be Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears again. All right, let's go out on a high note. We are plus 10 overall. Let's take one more look at the team. Very happy with where this one is. And when you do rebuilds like this, 10 years, you're building 2 separate teams. And when you have a 99 overall quarterback and a 99 overall running back and a 99 overall receiver, and your receiving core is spectacular, clearly. The entire offensive line's playing up above 90 overall, as is our tight end. And then defensively, like, we're not great at CB2. That's a real problem. But the corner is great, corner. The safeties are great. Linebacking core is still great. And then the defensive line is fantastic. And Bobby Claiborne, who we drafted 5 years ago now, like, he's a stud. 98 finesse moves. He's been getting after the QB at a high rate. Superstar dev. This is clearly a very, very good team, and I think a great team to end on here in 2040. And let's go ahead and try and win our 5th Super Bowl of the video. 6-3. I think we missed an extra point. Not 2 field goals, unless we got them, like, literally like that back to back. Bears are up, though. This is a close game, 17-12. Now we take the lead 20-17, but it's 20-20. And then Nazir Madden gets a rushing touchdown. Our slot receiver, it's 27-20. Just run the clock out. We're going to have to punt the ball back to him. It's going to be one final stand. Buffalo needs a touchdown. It's tough not to see number 10 for the Bears at quarterback and think of anyone other than Mitch Trubisky. Let's hope he plays like Mitch Trubisky. And it's a screen, not a good one. Under pressure, down goes the quarterback. Timeout, Buffalo. We had a lot of guys get in there. They ran slants, and then they didn't throw the ball right away, which you can't really make that mistake. 3rd and 20. Game on the line. They're going deep, and Clemens got cooked. Oh, my God. Yep. I mean, that is the weak spot of our team. CB2, I think that's who that was. Supposed to have safety help, but nope. All right, 1st and 10. I couldn't get the throw off. I wanted triangle. We're going deep. I need Beeson to make a play. Go up and get it. Beeson makes the catch. Oh, my goodness. The corner didn't lock onto it. No animation. And Beeson made the catch down the field. Oh, that's insane. I want to line it up because I know we're going to get iced here. They're not icing us. Why was that so fast? Oh, it got through anyways. Dude, who's so fast, random? I guess this is a bad kicker. I was not ready for that speed. I cannot believe that looped back in. Oh, my God. If I would have missed another field goal, I would have cried. Should have squibbed this probably, but... Oh, man. That could have been so bad. But we're going to end on a high note, winning Super Bowl number 5 for Buffalo. It's over. Holy cow, dude. And I think our quarterback, A.J. Carmen, probably won not only Super Bowl MVP, but league MVP this past season. Oh, actually, that's a 6th Super Bowl for Buffalo overall. 6. I guess I miscounted somewhere. AJ Carmen only won Offensive Player of the Year, not regular MVP. Does win Super Bowl MVP, though. And that's going to do it for the video. 6-time Super Bowl champions. Nice to see it. This was a really fun one. Got to see a lot of players develop over these 20 seasons, or 19, or whatever it is. So, super happy with the way this one turned out overall. Great final team. And that'll do it, guys. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.